Wow, according to this, man, that was right at the 00 time to go mark. We
That's
never
because we're awesome.
we never do that. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
Jack, how the hell are you, man?
Yeah, I'm doing. How you doing?
I'm okay. Took a scheduled, unscheduled night off last night. Had a storm blowing through, and we had a family thing to do today, celebrating a birthday. And just gonna call this one a night, and got myself some. I was gonna say I got myself some sleep, but I really didn't. I haven't slept very much in the last 2 days.
That's healthy for the world because the Israelis are invading Gaza right now, and I know you were awake because did you hear the news that Kino Casino was breaking?
Which news?
Cozy TV is apparently down.
I did not.
Yeah, apparently it's down. Beardson, one of the hosts on there, apparently got really drunk, fought a homeless man, did get backed up by one of the other guys they work with, and decided to go on an insane N-bomb filled tirade where he said the F slur for the gays and the N-bomb. I think I heard the N-bomb like 20 or 30 times in the entire stream they were playing, but it was ridiculous.
Yeah, shoot me a link to that. I'm interested in seeing it. No. The news that I saw, and for the record, I was awake, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of people. You must have been asleep, monkey. Chandler Bing has died. Matthew Perry drowned in his house today.
That's awful.
And that is one that that hits me hard, Jack, because Friends was a big thing in my house. It still is. It's something that has always brought the family together, something we've always talked about and enjoyed together. And with it being Chandler, with it being Matthew Perry, that one hits me really hard because, people used to sit around, which friend would you be? There was never a question when it came to me. People, Frank's Chandler. And I know it's a meaningless connection, but he's not that much older than us, Jack. He was 54.
He's really not. And a lot of the speculation is he had a cardiac event.
My guess would see. I had two things on this: either he had a heart attack or he relapsed because he's had a problem with drugs for decades.
Well, according to TMZ, there were no drugs on the scene, according to their sources in the police department. So
that doesn't mean there weren't some at one point.
That's true, but it's possible his heart was just weakened from years of addiction and being overweight because he was a little heavy.
Well, his weight, he actually said he doesn't watch Friends because he can tell what bad thing was going on in his life by how he looked, by whether he was a little fat or rail thin, because there were some seasons where it looked like he was going through chemo, dude.
Yeah, there were other seasons where you could tell he had put on significant weight too.
Yep.
He got the gobbler.
I think it's season 6 where he puts on a ton of weight.
Yeah.
Alan, thank you so much. Who says hello, monkey? Hello. You all know how I found out about Matthew Perry dying?
How?
This is a true story. A family text, and I'm not naming the family member, came through with the headline and showing, the picture of it, and it said, "Could he be any worse of a swimmer?"
Wow. Cold, but I think he would have appreciated that one.
It does sound cold, but if you're being honest, that's probably one of the best tributes you could give to the man.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I found out. And then I had to go look and are you just fucking with me? And Matthew Perry died. And that's sad. That's sad. I liked Matthew Perry. He was a funny actor. He could play that role very well.
But by all accounts, he was a pretty nice guy too. So
yep, he just had some demons, man, as so many do.
Yeah, especially in Hollywood.
Yeah. And then on the other hand, look, I got a lot of people who are like, "Monkey, did you see Matthew Perry died?" There was a lot less of that, Jack, for Richard Moll, who died the other day.
Yeah, Bull. He was also in several movies where he played villains. Really solid actor. Real shame. Thank you, Alan, who says, hello, Jack. Hi, Alan. Hope you're doing well.
Well, when it comes to Night Court, that's another show that brought the family together. This time being me, my brother, and my dad. This is after, mom and my older brother have died. If Night Court was on, we were in front of the TV watching it. And I loved the show. The audience sponsored me so I could get the first 3 seasons on DVD.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I love Night Court. Bull was such a great character on there. Some of the best episodes featured him. And it is sad that he died. He was on, I was reading a thing about, him passing away, and it's listing all the stuff he's in, all these shows, because he was apparently in Happy Days and then Laverne and Shirley and Mork and Mindy, which I did not know.
Yeah, he was on a ton of stuff.
But he's featured in 2-parters of those shows. It does not mention that he was on Married with Children. He played a mobster on Married with Children who loaned Bud some money to make an exercise video.
Oh, I remember that one.
Yeah. I'm like, how did you miss that one? But yeah, Richard Moll died. And it's sad to me that less people either knew who he was or cared who he was. Because Bull was amazing, man.
Yeah, but that was a very 80s era show. And
I don't want to hear that shit. That makes us sound old.
We are old.
Stop it.
Did you get Ellen's chat, by the way?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I did.
Just making sure. Yeah,
so a couple of big actors in my life, and that sucks, man. It happens. It happens. Most of the time stars pass and it doesn't really hit me, but those two kind of hit me, man.
Plus, every now and then you're like, wow, that dude died, especially at 54. That's really young.
Yeah, Richard Moll got to live to be 80, died peacefully in his home, which if you're going to die, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Where, Matther was only 54 years old, man. 54. That's only like 6 years away.
Yeah.
Drowned where? They didn't say, Frosted.
It's the jacuzzi.
Has that been confirmed?
Last I saw it was, but I don't know.
Yeah, the last I saw, they weren't confirming where. And actually, the last I saw, they weren't even confirming that Matthew Perry, the police would not confirm it was Matthew Perry who died. The network has come out, NBC, and like, it's sorry that we lost this guy who was such a money maker for us for a long time. They didn't put it that way, but let's be honest, that's what it was. But yeah, the police were like, yeah, we can't talk about it. So yeah, especially if he died in a jacuzzi, drugs or alcohol, that would be my first guess. Although heart is an issue in there, you got to be careful with that.
Yeah, especially with like cocaine and stuff, it'll really fuck your heart up.
Jacuzzis are not safe, man.
No, I saw Final Destination. What was it, 4, where that guy got his inside sucked out of his butthole because he got stuck on the vent.
That's not how I meant not safe. I just meant the hot water.
Oh, that too. It's a breeding ground. It's a petri dish for all sorts of like germs and god awful things. But I worry more about my insides being ripped out of my sphincter.
Yeah, see, I'm 48 now. I start paying attention to those things. Like, do you have heart problems? Don't get in here. Because we're not meant to boil ourselves, people.
No, we are not lobsters or sea roaches, as I like.
Yeah, it's probably not the best idea to be doing. It feels nice for a little while, but don't stay in there too long. Anyway, so yeah, sad passing of those 2 actors. Speaking of sad, Jack, we are going to watch Cenk and I had pictures pulled up for both Richard Moll and Chandler, and I didn't bring them on the screen. I just started talking.
Oh, well, that'll happen.
Now I feel bad. Feels like it's kind of late to pull them up there, but I'm going to do it anyway. For those of you who don't know who Richard Moll, that's Richard Moll right there. Really, really good actor. I loved him as Bull, man. And then you see him in something
very underrated.
Yeah, you see him as Bull, and he's playing this almost retarded guy, and you see him in something else where, hey, he's not actually retarded.
Yeah. Larry Drake has that too. He played the retarded janitor on LA Law, and then I saw him in Darkman 2, and I'm like, that dude's not retarded.
And there's Matthew Perry for those of you who are not who missed the 90s.
Yeah.
If you were alive in the 90s, you knew who Matthew Perry was because the Friends cast was fucking everywhere.
Oh, yeah. You couldn't get away from him.
Real quick, thank you. This is Kyle. The voice actress for Luffy the One Piece said she might not make it to the end of the anime. These people need to stop dying for my benefit, LOL. Have to Jack. Thank you for that double feminist $12. Really do appreciate
Woo. Thanks, Kyle.
Now, this one, I'm not sure if it was at the end of the show or if I even read it. So I might be repeating myself, but Evolved Potato from the other day. Thank you, Monkey. Be realistic. If this event goes on for more than a day, everyone will be dead from alcohol poisoning. Talking about the Florida Man event. You can catch that at the end of our last show. The Yeasty Goodness thumbnail will take you to that story. And also from the last episode, but this one was offline. Thank you, Disgruntled Technician, again for the feminist $12. Disgruntled has been giving us donations off the air. Guys, that is something you can still do if you're so inclined. But Disgruntled Technician, thank you for that feminist $12. Ima has the Missouri learning, but even I know those sentences were a little fucked. You know it's bad when even the knuckle-dragging grease monkey, such as myself, can spot grammar issues. Don't get me started on those grammar issues again. That sentence still pisses me off. I was drinking a cup of coffee, but it's sunny outside. Like, those don't go. That's not a but. What the fuck is wrong with you? See, don't get me started on that shit. That pissed me off so much. But yeah, rest in peace, fellas. I really do hope you, especially Matthew Perry. I hope you found peace, man. I know that was a struggle for you. Now, we are going to watch Cenk Uyger having a nice argument with Tim Pool, which I have not seen, Jack. We're watching this one blind. I don't know what happened during it. I just assume that Cenk is going to say stupid shit because, well, Cenk Uyger says stupid shit. Did you see his, they got a copy of his application to run for the DNC ticket in Colorado?
Really?
Yes.
Did not see this.
Yeah, because Cenk was not born in the United States. He can't actually run for president.
Well, is one of his parents an American?
I don't believe so. He's Turkish.
If he has an American parent, he might be able to get away with it. But
no. He's naturalized. And
no, he can't run for president.
It has on. I should have brought this up. I don't think I even retweeted it. But on the application, it's like, I promise that I am an American citizen, or that I was born in the United States and I'm a natural citizen. And he crosses that out and instead puts naturalized. Like, that's not how it works, fucker.
Yeah, it's not a business contract. You can't just edit the parts you like in and out. It's
100% what he did, though. Cenk, you can run for Congress, whether the House or the Senate. You can run for most state offices. You can't run for president. You're not a natural citizen, which you have to be. Sorry. But anyway, yeah, that was fucking amazing. Before we get to that, though, Jack had a primer for this. And
this is how I felt when Monkey told me we were going to watch this.
So this is just a little video.
What the fuck is this going on?
The dude is actually trying to move the arm that's going to save him from a train. Nope, the arm came back down. So what's he going to do? Oh, we're going to try it again. Bruh, there's a train coming. Wait for it. Wait for it.
He's going to make it. You can hear the train. This is how you get killed. This is Darwinism.
We can hear the train whistle now.
Nah, that's
train is
just a foghorn.
That train is close enough that it can see him.
Nah, it's a foghorn.
Wait, it's a fucking train.
Dude, you've been defeated by a railroad crossing arm.
That train's getting close.
I like how he's yelling at the guy behind him. He's like, "You're a fucking idiot. What are you doing?"
Yeah, why you would ever try something like that? Ladies and gentlemen, if that arm comes down, you stop. Just stay there and wait for the train to go by. It is not worth it to get hit by a fucking train. Oh my God. But Jack, you said this is how you felt when I told you we were watching Cenk versus Timmy Pool.
Yeah, this just kind of went through my head because it's like, no matter how you play this, no matter how funny we are, it's still two helmet wearers talking to each other. So the train really wins.
Yeah, you're not wrong. We're the train in this case. Just saying.
We're going to annihilate these dumb fucks.
Yeah. Hey, Jack, I'm sorry. I got to step away for 1 second. Can you talk to the audience?
Oh, yeah. So what's up, audience? How you guys doing out there? Staying sexy? I didn't recognize the name because I watched good shows. Ouch. A natural selection for destruction. More like, well, it's natural selection because if you're dumb enough to ignore the safety bar, that's kind of on you. Yeah, I wouldn't hold it up for, hey, man, will you come out and help me? No, I want no part of this. I can't not be sexy. Well, that's fair, Frosted. Oh, keep it up, old guy. Grift versus grift. Yeah, it's like war of the grifters. Parents are doing okay, JMK. They're about the same. Mom's in slow decline, so that's been a little rough. We got to do a little bit more for her these days, and not getting any easier. Her memory's starting to really go. Horse fucker versus Tim the Beanie, yes, and it's that's just weird. It wouldn't surprise me if they made out by the end of it. I haven't seen this either, so we're both going in blind here.
Oh, you haven't seen any of it either?
Nope.
Awesome.
Thank you, Furry Kitten. This is why warning signs are bad. It weakens society. I don't have a problem with warning signs, but if you decide to ignore them, that's your fault. Then nobody should feel bad for you. I think there's too many warning signs, like the sticker on the inside of a tote that has like, do not put a baby in here. It's got a little baby sitting in it with a do not sign on it. I think that's unnecessary. And same with like most chemicals. Like if you don't know that, that's on you.
Well, going back to the original one, this cape will not make you fly warning sign.
Yeah.
Look, I don't blame the kids because they probably can't read that warning anyway, but your child is running around with a cape. You might want to keep at least an eye on them. Just saying.
Oh, that's just called parenting.
Yeah. Little Timmy's on the top of your house getting ready to jump. Why don't you know that? Just asking.
Yeah, well, you should be supervising your children at least from a distance, keeping them from doing dumb shit. But
I hope there was a little kid with one of those capes on who was getting ready to jump off the roof who yelled, "Timmy!" before he did it.
That's probably happened.
Timmy! Anyway. Sorry, I had to back it up. We were at the part where I got my picture of Tim Pool where it looks like he's blowing a kiss to Cenk.
I'm telling you, they're going to make out by the end. It's going to be true love.
That was just where I stopped the video. I was going through just trying to find, at least decent pictures. It's hard to get a picture of Cenk from this because his head moves constantly. He's like a fucking bobblehead.
Well, it is a pretty big head, so he might actually be a bobblehead.
God bless, man. Anyway, so this is the Culture War. This is Tim Pool's new show where he brings people on to just kind of have these discussions about the culture war. It gives him a chance to ride the fence harder. He can get that fence post all the way up in his colon.
Oh my God.
Let me get it in there. Let me squiggle back and forth. Oh, there it is. That was disturbing. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Pumpkin Hawk, thank you so much. Hi, guys. Wanted to stop by before going to sleep. And you did. Appreciate it. Go get some sleep. Do what Nuts does. put on the sound and just fade away. I realize a lot of people use me for that, and I'm okay with it. Just throwing that out there. Anyway, Jack, you want to see what these two idiots have to say to each other? We're gonna, so say yes.
Yes.
There we go. All right, this is the beginning of the show.
Hey, Tim, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm kind of
Is the
awesome.
sound okay? Is that too loud?
That's fine.
Yeah. How's life? How's it going?
No big deal. Nothing interesting happening. Just running for president, running a company, hosting a show.
You're not running for president. You can't.
Well,
What?
I mean,
How do you say something so stupid at the beginning of this?
he's
This is
probably
good.
going to say it's like racism or discrimination or Islamophobia that he can't run. But
He-
I do need to correct myself. Can you turn it down just a bit?
Yeah.
Because Tim's voice is piercing.
Let's
Thank
try.
you.
Not busy at all. So I thought I'd just drop.
How's that?
That's better, I guess.
Well, let me
Still
know
have
when
to hear him.
if we still need to go down. more.
Just mute it. We'll be fine then.
We can't do that. We got to be able to react to it.
We'll make fun. Well, I'll play Timmy Pool.
What,
You
do you-
play Cenk, and we'll just wing it from there. How's that?
We're not a booby streamer or QXC or Hassan. We have to actually respond, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I have boobies, but not any that anybody wants to see.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
hard.
That's what she said. Right after I told her I had boobies. Anyway, here we go.
Bye.
I really appreciate you coming down. Because we
Is it still okay with Timmy there?
Yeah, it's fine. I still hear him, but it's fine. Otherwise.
All right, here we go.
we sent out a bunch of invites all over the place. We rarely get liberals and people from the left. They make up maybe like 5 to 10% of the people who come out. So, but
Which is weird because you're kind of a leftist pussy yourself. Honest, if we're being honest, he is. He's
Yeah.
a fence sitting lefty who occasionally says stuff that the right. He's kind of like RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard, where right leaning people jump on him because he's like the Civil War is coming. But other than that, they don't actually share anything in common with him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Thank you.
Disgruntled- Oh,
sorry.
you first.
Thank you, Frosted Glass. Monkey, put on my stream, listen to my voice, and just fade away. Matthew Perry. Okay.
Oh, that's hurtful. If it turned out he was listening to our stream when he drowned, I'm going to be sad.
We're
Disgruntled,
not that depressing.
disgruntled technician, thank you. You're being very unfair to Tim. He may be a fence sitter. He may have a weird voice. His co-host may be a bit off-putting at times, but where the fuck was I going with this? Well played, sir. Well played indeed. Yeah, look, I'm not a Tim Pool fan. For any time he gets stuff right, he spends a whole lot of his time up on that damn fence. Anyway, here we go. This is long. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to put up with it. It's going to depend on, what stupid shit they say, which I am positive they will say stupid shit. You know why, Jack? I've listened to both of these guys quite a bit over the years.
Yeah.
actually, for this show, we've been doing the Culture War Fridays. Way more interest from more all across the spectrum. People wanting to come in.
Spectrum is a great word for that.
Yeah.
I guess it's because it's not as topical news, right? It's just we can talk about whatever.
Yeah, no, I come bearing revolution, and
like
All right, this might be more than I can take. Cenk is bringing revolution, Jack.
Is it?
I hope it's not
Genocide.
Animal sex.
I thought it would be genocide.
I mean, they could be that. They did name themselves the Young Turks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zan. I no longer have a toothache. I have a lack of tooth pain. Pain meds for the win. Talk me to sleep, Monk and Jack. We will do our best. We'll do our best.
Absolutely. Congratulations.
and
by the
so
way.
Oh yeah, tooth pain is one of the ones that it doesn't sound like it should be that bad, and it's some of the worst pain you can be in.
Yeah.
Gums are highly sensitive. I'm being honest with you. I would rather get kicked in the balls than have a popcorn husk in my tooth. You ever have that happen?
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
because you can't ignore it.
Nope.
That pain doesn't go away easily.
Once you get it out, it stops immediately, which is wonderful. But until you can actually find it and pull it out, oh, fuck, man. Anyway, back to these two. I don't want to call them tards yet. I'm sure we'll get there. These two gentlemen. Let's start with, it's the beginning of the show. We'll call them gentlemen.
That's generous assessment. These two should be homeless people.
I am a generous guy.
Far more generous than I, sir.
Well, there's a reason why I came.
Of course.
And
oh, look, he's got an actual truth bomb up here. Oh, Tim, you're so smart. I got the
I'm hilarious.
Donald Trump's going to win 48 states. All right, here we go.
But what you're pointing out is actually important, and I think it's actually been harmful to the left that we have not engaged as much.
True.
And so I think, like, for example,
well, let's stop there for a second. Yes and no. The left benefits from not talking to other people because lefty ideas, even their best ideas, only sound good until you put any thought into them or criticize them in any way. So I get what he's saying about harming themselves, and I really think they have, because especially if you go back to the anti-SJW days, Jack, I mean, it was just so easy to laugh at them. Like, these fucking guys have no belief in their own stuff. They won't even defend it. But on the other hand, it's because it's largely indefensible. So there's a conundrum there, right? How do you go defend this stuff when it's really, really, really stupid? But Cenk is here to do that, apparently, Jack. So can't wait. I can't wait.
If they had a supervillain team up of Cenk and Tim Pool, and they went out to try and conquer the world or become warlords or something, we would have to call the movie version Beastio and Spaz.
And you know what? I would watch that.
I'd watch it too. It'd be hilarious. It'd just be like Cenk dressed as a general, constantly trying to fuck farm animals, and Tim running around going, "Civil War!"
These are the kind of guys that would set themselves on fire with a Molotov.
Yes.
All right.
Like a Three Stooges sketch.
P-Dog, my friend, how are you tonight? Hope everything is well in your world.
What's up, P-Dog?
Guys, if you're not subscribed to P-Dog, make sure you do.
Yeah, we have a lot of people in chat that are other content creators.
We do. Frosted is. You guys should be subscribed to him.
Yeah.
Who else am I seeing?
Bubba Hotep's got a channel.
Bubba Hotep. Yep. I've played games with him on his.
Yeah, I know a couple other people do too. Johnny Bonsaco's here occasionally. He's got a channel. Shroom, TOS.
Yeah. Shroom is TOS. Yeah, just to make sure. He used to have the name The Original Shroom, and now he just goes by TOS, which is The Original Shroom.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah, it's not terms of service.
All right, back to these guys. I don't like the way Cenk is looking at me right now. He's looking at me like I'm a farm animal, and I'm not okay with that.
Yeah, he's about to make kissy face like,
I love you.
Let me put my lips on your ponytail. And he means actual pony.
All right, here we go.
We're gonna get in trouble for this.
It'll be worth it though.
Well, we'll get into it probably later as to like our differences, and there's plenty of differences for sure. And then I think that I would cue the audience to look out though for the similarities, because there's so much that we disagree on, but there's also a ton that we agree on. And I don't mean necessarily me and you, but we'll find out but I bet we do, right?
I think
yes, because Timmy's actually a lefty.
They're both into hippos.
No. Well, From what I've seen,
Mhm.
Timmy likes really skinny girls that are dating other people, and
Oh.
Cenk likes farm animals. So maybe.
We agree more than we disagree.
Yeah, and I think that the American people agree a lot more than they realize, and partly because the media is driving division.
Oh, Cenky. You cannot be a lefty and come up here and talk about the media driving division. They're on your side, dickhead. Okay.
Oh, hang on.
And
Go ahead.
Thank you, Pumpkin Trucker. Running late, but Bull, tell me you didn't sleep with my sister. No, we just had sex. Best TV joke ever.
Yes.
Thank you, Pumpkin Trucker.
and so, but one of the things,
Just going back to that real quick. If you're looking for great TV lines, Chandler and Bull, some of the best you can ever. You throw Al Bundy in there and you have the trifecta.
For American TV, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
we'll probably get into is audience capture.
Yeah.
And then a new thing that happened, in my opinion, which is guest capture. And
Guest capture? Is that where you kidnap somebody to have on your show? But he said they'd get into it. I'm not sure how long. We're only 2 minutes into this 2 hour and 40-minute slog, so we'll see what happens.
And that's kind of our fault, meaning the left's fault, because I think Joe Rogan got guest captured. I think Bill Maher did to some degree, and maybe you did. I don't.
Oh, is he suggesting that the guests are changing their minds? Is that what he's talking about here?
Maybe.
I mean, because that's kind of the hint he gave there, Joe Rogan, and then when he went to Bill Maher. Okay, all right. No, just for the record, Cenk, your side is stupid. They're dumb. Your side believes guys can become girls. I mean, and in fairness to Cenk and Anna especially, they don't necessarily believe it, but that's your side.
know. We'll talk about it, but
Stop talking about what you're going to talk about and just fucking talk. I fucking hate when shows do this.
Nah,
What?
they just want you to keep watching.
We're probably talking about this and that and that. Just shut up and get to the subject.
it's because they have nonstop right wingers on, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's exactly.
But at the same time, the left doesn't love to go on shows and that are
no, okay, especially talking about Bill Maher, guys. This is going to be a long one. Especially talking about Bill Maher, you can't sit there and say all he has is right wingers on. Bill Maher.
Well, depends how far left you are.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. The reason that Cenk thinks that Bill Maher only has right wingers on is because he kind of watches Bill Maher the way that I do. When there's something on that's interesting to me,
yeah.
And for him, it's only, oh my God, he's talking about right wing stuff. You fucking asshole. He had DeSantis on. Fuck off.
the right wing and platforming and all that BS. So can I curse on the show?
It's up to you. I guess we try not to. I know we try to be family friendly. But,
okay, all right.
whatever.
God bless. Okay.
Yeah, it is what it is. But I think you're.
Shut up, pussy. This is okay. Look, we're on online discourse. This isn't a Sunday morning show or 7 o'clock on a weeknight. It's YouTube. Swear, you pussy.
Well, you have to be at least 13 to be on here.
Yeah, supposed to be.
You haven't heard the F-bomb by the time you're 13. You're probably in a cult or a Mormon enclave of some kind.
Look, I'm not saying you have to be like us, where it's peppered in probably a little too strongly, but I hate that shit. No, we don't do that around here, pussy.
I feel attacked.
You're right. To varying degrees, some are more resistant to capture than others, to their own detriment. And but this has been something we've talked about. And I agree on the Joe Rogan thing too.
He just had like 3 thoughts in a row that none were finished. Oh, this is going to be rough. Homie, you're the host of the show. You got to keep it together. Is he always like this, guys?
I can't typically watch long form Tim Pool content because I tend to black out.
He just had 3 thoughts and none of them were complete. Oh my God. All right.
People are getting, they get attacked for going on Rogan. They get, I don't go on. He's far right. Why are you doing it? I mean, there are even people who are saying it's a bad idea to have you on the show, but that's the most laughable thing in the world because we try to get as many people as possible across the spectrum. And
seriously, spectrum, great word. I haven't heard anybody like, hey, don't go on Rogan because he's too far right wing, and maybe that is a thing. Mostly, I've heard how come Joe Rogan is signal boosting that right wing guy, or why is he platforming that right wing guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't seem to attack Rogan specifically, but the people that are on his show.
Yeah. So maybe we just we run in different circles.
The strange thing about it is when people will say that like Timcast IRL is far right or whatever, or my favorite was when.
All right. I know I'm pausing a lot. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm really not, but I have to say that for those of you who are like, just let it play. Nobody thinks your show is far right, Tim. Nobody thinks it's far right. They think you're a grifter at best and a fence sitter at worst. No, he's far right. Nobody thinks that, Tim. You're trying to be Rogan right now. 3 minutes in, Jack.
Hassan called Ian Crossland a conservative. All right, do you know who Ian is? I mean, he's a hippy dippy crystal weirdo who doesn't like Donald Trump. And
Good for him.
Well, we don't really know how to describe Ian other than he's just like a wild card kind of guy who doesn't follow the news in the same way as everybody in the culture war. And so he's often pushing back on us in very strange ways, such as he said Palestine should be the 51st state of the United States, which is a strong departure from anyone in politics.
Not really. It's a fictional place like Narnia.
Yeah, fair enough.
We can make Narnia the 51st state. Oz will be the 52nd state. Woo, be awesome.
The guy he's talking about is kind of a hippie, but I just always assign his stupidness to him probably being really high. Just saying.
I assume that because he probably had a head injury. That's why he wears the beanie to hide the dent in his giant round head.
Oh no, talking about the guy in the empty chair, where they keep showing that empty chair.
Oh.
Ian, yeah, he's I need to move some stuff around on my screen real fast, Jack.
Joshua said he got banned from Tim Pool's channels. I understand that. I probably would be too, but
what'd you get banned for?
Frosted said that Tim's like a human form of Rohypnol. I would equate it more to an alien abduction where you kind of black out and then you have a screen memory in its place. And you're like, that's my happy place. Bad things happened and my butt hurts.
Thank you, Poker. Tim looked up to Cenk. Tim met him and he went off. Again, we haven't watched this, so we'll see what happens. Now, I just needed to move the chat to the other screen just in case, stuff goes sideways on my end. That way I can see it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go.
But then he'll get called conservative just by virtue of being on the show with us.
Okay, well, let's get into it because I get it. And but I've kind of changed my mind on something there. And that's partly why I say come bearing revolution.
All right.
Because look, the thing that really
okay, I gotta stop here. If you're watching Cenk's, oh, what a wonderful pause face. I hate when people are talking to each other. This isn't like a live stream where Cenk is in his studio and he's talking to Tim. You're talking to him. You should be looking at him, and he's looking all around. And part of the time he's looking down, which just tells me you're kind of cowardly. You should be looking at the guy you're talking to. Why do they do this, Jack?
Could be disinterest.
Maybe that's it, but it's bothersome to me.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of not looking at people when I'm talking because I have the attention span of a fucking gnat, but I'm not this bad. Holy shit.
He's only
That
looked
and
at
there's
him
a
for
lot of
like
ugly people I don't want to make eye contact with.
he's only looked at him for like 10 seconds. All right.
Well,
Set
he's
me
probably
off,
trying to not call him Charlie
hanging out with-
Brown because
but then he'll get-
round head.
I just I went backwards on accident. I have no idea where we are, and I don't really care. I think we were like barely 3 minutes in.
But then he'll get called conservative.
Oh yeah,
just
we're
by
very close to
virtue
where
of
we
being
were.
on the show with us.
Okay, well, let's get into it because I get it. And
Frost has said I can almost never maintain eye contact. Let me help you out. Here's the secret. Look right between their eyes. If you're trying to maintain eye contact and you're very nervous about doing that, look right between their eyes. Look at their cheekbones. That's another way to do it. Look at their eyebrows. That's another way to do it because it still looks like you're looking them in the eye.
Do not look at their nose hair. It gets weird for both of you.
It really does because they can tell you're looking down a little bit, and then they're like, "Do I have a booger?" And yeah,
And their nose hair moves when they breathe, so it'll look like that's talking to you.
yeah. And Monk says, "Do not look at their boobs." I mean, it depends on where you're at. If you're at a strip club, by all means, but otherwise, probably a bad idea. Faithless says, I'm a mouth watcher. So am I. But if I'm talking to somebody and I know, like if I'm like a boss, Jack, I have trouble maintaining eye contact because my brain is like, I don't know which eye to look into. So I just look right between the eyes. Anyway, here we go.
What if they have a lazy eye?
You can't really tell if you're looking, right between the eyes. That's all. You can really fuck with them and just switch back and forth between which eye you're looking at because it's noticeable that you do it.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of staring at somebody's lazy eye because I'm like, what's over there that you're looking at?
Just look in that direction. But what the what?
Well,
what?
I told you about I used to date a chick with the lazy eye, and I just would always say, "Oh no, it's cool," because if she's giving me a blowjob, she's looking out for assassins.
There you go. Got to have something. All right, here we go. Back to these two tard. We're a lot more entertaining than they are. Why are we watching this?
Because we're better than these clowns, and they're funny.
And it's funny. They're funny for the wrong reasons. Like Cenk, I'm running for president. Go ahead. You can't be him though, even if you win.
But I've kind of changed my mind on something
Did
there,
you
and
now?
that's partly why I said come bearing revolution.
All right.
Because look, the thing that really set me off, and I thought that you were in that group, but I'm now beginning to change my mind a little bit on it, is that this is a old tried and true tactic of the right wing, is that they get people who used to be left wing and then they turn them into turncoats, they pay them a lot of money, and then they trot them out there in hostage videos, and then
You mean like what they do with black people on the left?
What?
Turncoat? Really? Somebody changing their mind is a turncoat? You just have to have blind allegiance?
There was a time, and you could probably still find some of the videos where I used to be right wing would be a big thing, but I used to be left wing. Here's why I left the left. Were like 900 times more popular. And here's why, Cenk. Here's why. Your side is stupid. I cannot express that enough. Your side is dumb.
Well,
and when somebody comes to their senses, it's fun to see.
It's because they're utopians and delusional utopians at that.
Yeah.
And Tulsi Gabbard will come and go, I am a left winger, but the right wing is right about everything. The right wing is right. The right wing is right. And then they
once again, Tulsi mostly talks about war and she's anti-war. That's it. Has she changed her mind about other left-wing things? It hasn't happened that I've seen. But they really hate Tulsi just because people on the right. Look, the reason they hate Tulsi has nothing to do with right-wing anything. They hate Tulsi because Tulsi was a Bernie bro, and they think Bernie screwed Hillary. That's it. At least be honest about it, Cenk, you fucking asshole. Oh, this is gonna be rough.
He can't be honest about an Armenian genocide. I don't think he's going to be honest on anything involving
Hey.
politics.
Hey, after being on YouTube for 12 years, they finally got him to go, yeah, there was a genocide. And Anna loves to point it out. One time he did it. He never addresses the fact that he named his group after a murderous genocidal group.
I think Hypnagogic Monk nailed it. Most people don't go left because people like food.
Yes. I'd also like to point out, because like right now, Hassan is out there. The genocide. You started out on a show with your uncle named after a genocidal group, you fucknut.
Yeah.
But hey, an actual genocide. That's not like, oh, they killed a couple of people. An actual genocide.
They love it, and they just all like this orgiastic reaction of like, oh, even.
I wonder if he's ever read the story of the prodigal son.
Probably not.
Look, it sucks that, you can be somebody who's on the right and you've been there for your whole life, career, whatever, and then somebody who's on the left comes in and gets a ton of attention, like Tim Pool, like Dave Rubin. But it is just a natural thing. Kevisar, thank you so very much. There's a saying, if you are 20 and not left, you have no heart. If you're 40 and still left, you have no brain. That saying is in very many, usually I've heard it, if you're not a liberal when you're young, you have no heart. If you're not a conservative when you're old, you have no brain. But indeed. And thank you, Sin Nikki. Tulsi got Kamala too. Yes, Tulsi did knock Kamala out. But their hatred of her started long before that. It goes back to 2016. Nobody ever talks about it.
Well, why would they want to do that? One of the things that they tend to overlook, and I think is really important as to the difference between left and right, is there is no forgiveness on the left, and the right believes in redemption. Like, you can make mistakes and still be a right winger. And they'll be like, look, you fucked up, but we still like you. You're coming over to our side. Cool. Welcome aboard. Where the left, there is no redemption arc. If they've cast you out, you are a pariah.
How many times also have we seen on the left people cast out over a single opinion?
Yeah. One little thing is all it takes.
And it doesn't even have to, like, take Anna, for instance. When the big hubbub happened with her, all it was with this, she's like, no, biological women really are a thing. That was her argument. And they're like, how dare you, you dirty slut.
Yeah, and they basically have to go on a redemption quest.
Yeah.
Go apologize to Ice Cube and then go out and find a magic ring. All this other shit. You have to jump through all these hoops to be purified.
Mm-hmm.
The right's just like, you came to a realization. Good job, buddy.
Yep.
And I think that's a key difference. Maybe that's more of a religious thing because you see it more with Christians with the idea of redemption. But
yeah,
the right wing definitely has a lot more forgiveness than the lefties do.
And the right wing has more, without even getting to the forgiveness part, just more the forgiveness for being on the wrong side, like, say, taking in a Dave Rubin who was a far lefty. Let's say that I support gun rights. I'm against abortion. I think we should have welfare. And then they're like, okay, we disagree on that, but thank you for being with us on the other stuff. You're still with us. And on the left, if you do that, they're like, no, get out, fucker.
Heretic.
Yeah. So, I mean, even before you ever get to a full-on, you were on the wrong side, you just a minor difference on your own side, and they're like, get out. You have been cast out, you dirty blasphemer. And he's, I didn't even notice the face I paused that on. That is perfect. It looks like he has got the biggest dookie that just won't come out.
Oh, no, that's him banging a piggy right there.
Oh, yeah, he's even holding the piggy tails. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
And the left wingers agree with us. We're so right. And it's like a trick that works every time with the right wing audience, and it's super frustrating.
They do it with former conservatives and Joe Biden.
Well, no, that's a little different. I hear what you're saying. The reason why
I hear what you're saying, and you're right, but no, Kevisar, thank you. Liberal left, potato, indeed. Liberal left. Some people get mad if you say liberal. Because, hey, I'm liberal. I'm a classical liberal. And Sargon can fuck himself for making that part of the lexicon. But I don't make a big... When I say left and liberal, people know what I mean.
Especially if you're an American.
Yeah.
Classical liberal is more of a European concept. You'd be considered a hard right nut job over here for that.
Yeah, and Faithless is right. The proper term these days is probably fundamentalist progressive.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Democrat, left, liberal, those are all pretty much the same weird group.
Yeah, let's face it, progressives now are zealots. It's
yes.
Absolutely a secular religion, just like communism. This is
I say it's a little different is because the former conservatives are almost all corporatists.
Yeah,
of course.
And the Democratic Party is also corporatist.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're, changing their actual.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong here, Cenk, but don't you run a corporation? I'm not wrong on that, am I?
No.
He's the head of the TYT Corp. All right. But he's not a corporatist. Nah, bro. Just because I benefit from all the corporate bullshit. Nah, bro. Now, I get what he's trying to say. What he's trying to say there is that they are, all of their opinions are given to them by corporate entities. But he is one, so fuck you. Little dirty hypocrite.
Ideology,
right? Yep. They're pro-war. They're pro-corporate, they're pro-establishment power, pro-revolving door politics, and
pro-pharma, pro-big oil, pro everything that's donors, multinational corporations, etc. Right? So whereas like Tulsi is a liar, like she was, of course. She was, first of
course. We had to get one of those in here. Tulsi's just a liar. Okay, now I don't know what he's going to get into here, and I haven't been paying attention to Tulsi. So maybe he has a point. I'm willing to hear him out, Jack.
Wait. What is she lying about? Her love for me?
Yes.
Because she said she doesn't love me. Does that mean that she does?
Frosted said pro big oil question mark. Look, man, they just make it up. You see, he is pure of heart, not like those damn Democrats that literally repeat everything he says. Not because they're listening to him, but because he's taking his ideas from them too. He likes to pretend he's not. He's above it, you see. He's righteous. Not like those damn corporate Democrats.
No, he's an individual.
Well, to be fair to her, in a deeply ironic way, she was always a secret right winger, but she was lying that she was a progressive.
She was a Bernie bro.
Yeah.
She was the first member of Congress who threw her endorsement behind Bernie Sanders in 2016. She was actually always conservative. What the fuck are you talking about?
She was an undercover secret righty.
A moment ago in chat, it said citation chunky, and I'm going to need citations for this one, homie. I really am.
Hey, Fugi.
And so the first person to suss that out was Anna, and Anna did a bunch of stories about how Tulsi was a right winger back when.
Anna told us that Kyle Rittenhouse was guilty.
She never watched the video.
Never watched the video. So look, I get you. You're standing behind your weird little chick who sits. If he's not banging her, there's no excuse.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it would stand to reason that he should be, because.
Do you think he makes her make horse sounds when they're doing it?
I think he makes her wear a horse costume.
Mighty Balzac, thank you. Cenk's jealous that Tulsi has bigger tits than him. Does she? She?
I'd have to see her boobs to find out.
And we'd have to see his, and I don't want to. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
All right,
that's a
here we-
good point.
when she was pretending to be progressive and running for president in 2020. And
What-
people,
what is that? Is that like the gay marriage stuff or something?
that stuff. She's always hated Muslims.
What? I just want to point out again, she's anti-war. So even if she did hate Muslims, where'd you get that from?
Yeah, I would like to see a citation on that because I don't recall ever hearing her say something anti-Muslim.
Fucking Delahaye says, I don't think Anna has ever said nay to Cenk's advances.
Oh, he's got a lot of sugar cubes.
That's a spelling joke for those of you who don't get it. And Frosted Glass, thank you. Cenk is airbrushing out lefties Stalin style. Yeah. I'm sorry. Fucking Tulsi Gabbard is not right-wing in any manner at all.
Like there's like, she's like, I'm all for peace. Unless it's Muslims, then let's bomb them. Drone strikes and troops and go get the goddamn Muslim. I mean, they just all happen to be Muslim countries, and I just happen to be a Hindu nationalist. But like it's just random.
Didn't she go to Syria? She was trying to.
Yeah, she went to Syria,
But that
met
was
with
for
Bashar
peace, right?
al-Assad. Nah, she's
It absolutely was. And he's like, nah, bro. That's just what she said. God damn, I hate Cenk. This is why people, when somebody leaves your side, they're like, oh, come on over here. Because you guys are fucking liars. This is what we were just talking about a moment ago, Jack. With them, hey, they have one different opinion than us. And like, the bitch is a horrible warmongering twat. All right.
like I don't know what she's doing, but she's not a progressive. So her going out there and pretending to be a progressive and doing right-wing propaganda gets under every skin I have. Okay. So, but now that gig is up, right? Or that jig is up. Like her, Glenn Greenwald, a couple of others. I don't want to start the drama, right? But
Do
like,
you think even
Fucking Glenn Greenwald. Oh my God. Oh. Jack, you know who Glenn Greenwald is, right?
Oh yeah,
Used to be a writer. Was it for the Times or the Post? I can't remember which.
oh, I don't remember.
He does his own stuff now. This is a gay man who's adopted, what, 3 kids?
I think so.
And was married. I think his husband just died like 2 months ago.
Yeah, that was recently.
Yeah. He's still a lefty. He just calls out bullshit. When there's a lie out there, he's like, no, this is a lie. He actually does the fact checking that, the fact checkers don't.
That's a lot of work.
Thank you, Frosted, who said, all his skin, that's a lot. Indeed. By the way, guys, we are brought to you by you. Hit the like button, hit the share button if you would. Subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're so inclined, toss a tip to me and Jack so we can get blood pressure medicine after this is all over.
Yeah, we're poor.
Glenn is
oh yeah,
a liar?
yeah. So look, here's the thing. Again, to
Go
be
ahead.
fair to both Tulsi and Glenn, they had right-wing tendencies.
Oh, to be fair to both of them, they had right-wing tendencies.
No, they're slightly different on the political spectrum.
He's not being fair. He's lying.
Yeah, that's a backhanded compliment. Like, to be fair, you don't sweat much for a fat chick.
Right. Jesus Christ. All right.
Throughout, and Glenn used to do it in a principled way. So I remember we had a debate on Young Turks between Glenn.
So wait, now he's sold out by being an independent creator. Is he one of those corporatists now, Jack?
Yes.
All right.
He's a heretic because he no longer completely agrees with everything I say. The fact that I've become much more progressive and he stayed the same means that he's a traitor to my cause, ergo must be cast out.
Look, I like Glenn Greenwald because I think he's principled. Even when I disagree with him on his left-wing stuff, I believe the man believes it, right? He's not just saying it because, like, like a Cenk here who will say it just because that's how you get views.
Yeah, he's not a shill and he's not a zealot. So I respect people that stand on principle, even if I disagree with them.
Faithless says Chunk, the gatekeeper of left think. Yes. Well, that's part of the problem with the left wing is that their commentators think they are the gatekeeper of the left wing. And again, don't step out of that circle. All right.
Why would you want to step out of the circle, monkey? Safe.
Yeah, no. Don't even suggest stepping out of the circle. That's how you get kicked out of the circle. All right. He's talking about a debate he had with Glenn Greenwald.
Greenwald and Larry Lessig, who's like a legendary campaign finance reform professor and leader and godfather of the movement. It was right after Citizens United, and because we've been around forever. And Lessig was saying that Citizens United was decided wrong, and Glenn was arguing that it was decided right. So Glenn,
Citizens United, for those of you who don't know the case, this goes back to the 2016 election. There's a group called Citizens United who put out a video about Hillary Clinton. They got sued saying, hey, you can't do that. It breaks campaign finance laws. And the Supreme Court came out and said, you guys are fucking retarded. They can do that. That's the long and short of it. This is the one where everybody's like, they said corporations are people. Not really, because people can only donate, what is it, $3,500? It did open the floodgates to what we have now with super PACs. But when it came to that actual case, there was nothing wrong with that case. They made a video. Hillary Clinton didn't like it. They weren't actually associated with any campaign. And yeah, the Supreme Court is like, no, they can do that. It's fine. And I happen to agree with the court on that one.
and was in favor of money in politics. Now he'll probably
stop it. Didn't he just say a minute ago, to be fair, he was in favor of money in politics? He was in favor of the ruling, you fucking asshole.
No, he was in favor of things I hate. He is my enemy now. It has been declared. Praise
Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump spent $1 billion. And this is before Citizens United is fully decided. You're going to tell me, money, there was no money in politics. Go fuck yourself. They spent $1 billion. He's in favor of money in politics. Eat me. You know what happens, Jack? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Furry Kitten. If you had to partake a pint chunky horse yogurt or smegma, they're both palatable to their adherents. Just wondered where you lay on the peanut butter spectrum. Plus, don't you pull on Anna's bitch bun with her tears as lube? Tears are nature's lubricant.
Frosted points out that Hillary also funded Pissgate. She did. The whole fusion thing was funded by Hillary Clinton and the DNC. And these assholes, everybody, money, it made money in politics. Stop pretending money's never been a part of politics. What are you talking about? They just used to call it bundling. Oh, yeah, we just happened to find 400,000 people who all gave the maximum limit. Fuck right off. This is why I hate people talking about this kind of stuff, Jack, because like somebody's going to be watching this. Somebody who has no idea what is really going on here. Yeah, money in politics is bad.
Citizens United was decided in 2010, monkey.
Oh, sorry. So they still had the money. Okay, how much was spent in 2008? I guarantee you it wasn't chump change. How much was spent in the 2008 election? How much was spent in 2008?
We're doing it live.
Didn't you? There it is. Let's see. How much money was spent between the two? Total receipts. Oh, load up, damn it. Oh, this is a horrible article. Financial activity of the 2008 presidential candidates and National Party increased 80% over receipts from 2004, totaling $1.8 billion in 2008, Jack.
Wow. 2008, that was McCain and
McCain and Obama. Nearly $2 billion before Citizens United.
Oh, man, that's a shitty amount of money to be spending on those two clowns.
$2 billion. But hey, money in politics. So I had the time frame wrong. It actually makes the billion spent by Trump and the billion each, but from Trump and Hillary sound better because it's a full 8 years earlier. All the inflation since then, and they spent basically the same amount. But Citizens United was the problem. Yep. Anybody want a bridge? I have so many.
Lucky overbought on shares, which is a deal for you.
BS about, well, no, I'm not in favor of money in politics. I just think that politics should drown in it. And that
I'm
it's
in
like
favor
free
of money in
speech,
politics.
that it's awesome that all these companies bribe all of our politicians. But hey, free speech. So whatever that was, but back then, I mean, like that was out of actual principle, whatever.
No, okay. Nobody has yet shown me somebody change their mind with the money in politics. Everybody likes to talk about it. Oh, it got bought out by a corporation. What you're talking about is the corporation throwing money at the people who already believe that and them doing better in the election. You want to show me? I mean, maybe there's some George Santoses out there.
Or Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Principle he thinks he has. So there was like a little right-wing tinge to him even back then. But now it's so over the top. Everything is, Tucker Carlson is so right. I'm a liberal, and I think Tucker Carlson is the most right person in the world. Like, Glenn, we don't see it. Come on, brother.
Let's
again, how about an actual example? Just saying he says Tucker Carlson is right. He gave us an example of, how he was kind of right-wing before. But here's just Tucker's right about everything.
They throw out Tucker Carlson's name. It's like Trump derangement syndrome. You're naming Voldemort.
Yes.
So by saying that name, it's supposed to induce a certain feeling. Like, he believes what the devil believes.
Let's define left and right. How would you describe it?
So, but that's where we're getting into now the new world. Okay. Yeah. So that frustrated me about Rogan and Maher and you as well. Like I thought, here we go again, pretending to be left wing and then saying things that are all right wing and going, see, the right wing's right about everything, right? But I now think a little bit differently about you three. Okay. I think Tulsi and Glenn are still just playing a scam, total utter scam. Okay. But it's Dave Rubin is classic.
I knew he had to bring up Dave. I'm shocked he hadn't already, because Dave, for those of you who don't know, Dave Rubin used to be on the Young Turks. Is where he got his start in, where he's at now. So I've been waiting for that. I've been waiting. You ever seen Anna talk about him?
No, I don't think so.
Anna Kasparian absolutely hates Dave Rubin. I mean, my guess is she thought she could turn him straight, and he's like, no, I like penis, and she took it very personal.
I think before she knew he was gay, he showed her vagina, and he puked or something. He was like, and it turned into that whole thing with those Indian people and then their food microwave.
Dog Backward says, how much funding did TYT get from Al Jazeera again? I don't remember how much they got.
It was a lot.
Yeah. They also got $20 million from YouTube. They're not corporate, though.
No, nothing to see here. Not bought and paid for.
$20 million for a school to teach you guys how to make stuff like the Young Turks do. I never saw them make a school.
Didn't either, but it might have just been they mailed you a hammer, and the image that came with it was just somebody hitting themselves in the head, and it said repeat.
I like penis ranting monkey 2023. I did say that. Grimm's Bar says, right, Jimmy Dore. Yeah, Jimmy Dore's another one that they turned on, and they absolutely fucking hate that guy. He has a little
Alex Jones for them.
He has he absolutely did. He spit on Alex Jones because Alex Jones was giving Cenk some issues one day. That's at the Republican National Convention, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was Alex Jones was being kind of a dick, but he wasn't. It was playful. It wasn't anything purposefully mean or anything.
Yeah.
Calling it, trying to hawk his T-shirts that said Bill Clinton's a rapist.
He was actually giving one to Cenk. And look, he was being an asshole. There's no question about that. But yeah, Jimmy Dore spit on Alex Jones. But he's got a little bit of a different opinion than these guys on a few things. They're like, he's the worst ever. Fucking shitbag. All right, back to this dummy. I'm just so happy he brought up Dave.
Example of that scam. He also had like right-wing tendencies a little bit. He like loves anything that's brutal on the Israeli side. He's like, occupation is great, bombing the hell out of the Palestinians is awesome. So
okay, I don't watch a lot of Dave Rubin. Did he say that?
I highly doubt that.
Did he say occupation is great, bomb the hell out of the... Come on, Cenk.
So he always believed that, even when he was pretending to be a liberal. So, but there's nothing left about him, nothing, and no one thinks that Dave Rubin is left anymore. And as long as,
well, I mean, just being gay marriage is fine. Is that a right wing thing?
I don't know. It's like he gets all his talking points from some website full of stereotypes.
Yeah.
Like, I doubt he's actually talked to anybody that's really right wing in a very long time.
Think he's a left winger and you're not running that scam, and you just say, okay, you're a right winger, then I have no problems. Then let's debate. It's no big deal. Right?
I think even he calls himself conservative now.
Yeah, he gave up that.
But what is left and right in your?
But again, stop right there. He might call himself a conservative, but we have to talk about how the Overton window has shifted. The Overton window is not where it used to be. Left right now means we need to give up all gasoline, all oil products, which, by the way, guys, includes any plastic that you use. You got to give up all of that shit and go to this green nonsense so that we can save the planet and give all of our money to small countries around the world. You have to be an idiot who believes that a guy can turn into a girl and they actually are a female at that point.
And they should teach your children, and drag performers should talk to your kids. Be a secret.
So just to say, hey, he says he's a conservative now. Again, maybe I'll take their word for it.
Maybe he just doesn't like open borders.
Did his opinions change? And I know some of them have, but how far did they change versus how far the Overton window shifted?
Everything is fine. The Overton window has not shifted. There's nothing to see here. That's a right-wing mythology talking point.
Right-wing talking point. Right. Jack, we talk for just a second. I'm here. I'm just going to grab my soda so I can refill this. I'm going to be low here in a minute.
Okay. Well, yeah. See, there is no Overton window. This is how it always was. Some animals are more equal than others. Open borders are enriching. Just look at the marches and riots in for pro-Palestine in London right now. Well, that's cultural enrichment. Sure, we're gonna change your kids' gender and help them get meds that you don't know about at school, but that's because the children belong to the community. That's how it's always been. To think anything else is delusional right-wing nonsense. Stop being delusional, people. Accept the reality that you are told to.
Frosted says Cenk is gaslighting like a champ. 100%. Absolutely he is. All right.
Don't worry, Dangerous. There is a scarecrow factory right down the street. They're going to build those straw men in record time for this.
Yeah, so I'm going to get to that through the answer of you, Rogan, and Maher, that new group. Okay, so Maher's not a right winger. Like, I get it, right? But does he have right wing views? Yeah, he does. No, right? So he's terrible on Israel and
maybe on Israel, and I haven't seen what he said about that, Jack. But no, Maher is not right wing. When he gets close to right wing, we didn't watch the video, and I'm kind of sad that we didn't, Jack. We probably should have. Bill Maher, I think it was not this past week, but the week before, maybe it was this past week, He did a new rule because, you know, all of these people that we're seeing, these college kids coming out and they're like, we got to destroy Israel and Hamas is great. And he's like, maybe we fucked up a little bit. And so he spends the first half, you know, going, hey, maybe we fucked up in colleges a little bit. And you might be like, oh my God, look how right wing he is. And then to prove his point about how bad colleges are, he points to a whole bunch of Republicans. And he's like, these guys all came out of these colleges. See how fucked up it is? Don't say he's right wing. Fuck you. He's not even a little bit right wing. He's completely left wing. He's always been left wing. Even when he's almost right wing, he's still got to suck up to the left wing. So fuck you.
What?
Oh, fuck, man.
On Muslims, etc. He's in the Sam Harris group, and there's a bunch of other things. He's
all they talk. Oh God, he just brought up the clip where he just said he's right wing on Muslims. He's in the Sam Harris group. This goes back to a clip where Sam Harris is on there. So is Ben Affleck, and they're just pointing out that, well, Islam is not compatible with Western society, and Ben Affleck gets so upset he almost cries.
Yeah, he was so offended on behalf of the Muslims.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God. Bill Maher is an atheist. And when it comes to that, he doesn't go, he's like most atheists. He'll rip on the Christians, barely touch the Muslims. But if it does come up, he's not on their side. He's not an apologist for them like a lot of these internet atheists are. The Jewish Maher might support Israel. I'm shocked. He's not Jewish in the religious sense. He's just looking at what's actually going on over there and pointing out, yeah, the Jews keep getting bombed. Anyway,
it's terrible on, but he's right about a lot of other things, right? He's right about Biden. He's right about at least half the topics, and Rogan is genuine. Like as much as like I get frustrated by Rogan, and I think there was audience capture and guest capture and all of that, he genuinely means it. And part of the reason is he was already rich. He didn't need to do Dave Rubin like scams to get rich, right?
Damn, cheap shots at Rubin today.
Yeah, no shit. And when it comes to Rogan, Rogan had money, but a lot of his fuck you money came from his show. And the reason, this is something Cenk doesn't understand. The reason Rogan got where he is the genuineness. Even if you find him boring like you do, Jack. Mm-hmm. When he's up there, the show literally started with him just talking to his friends.
Yeah.
And it gained traction from them just shooting the shit.
Well, he had all that news radio money and Fear Factor money. So I guess he was rolling in the dough.
We've seen lots of actors who've done that. Lots of them who've come on and like, I'm going to start a show and it doesn't work out the way Rogan's does.
Yeah, because they come off as stiff or artificial.
Yeah.
Whereas Rogan's just hanging out.
Yes,
he's hanging out with interesting people.
So he's just has his own opinions. He's sharing them. They're leaning more right wing. But as long as it's genuine, I got no problem with it. Right.
The more,
and that's, you know what? We've said that here for so long. And I just said that a little bit ago about Glenn Greenwald. If you're a lefty and you genuinely believe it, I think you're probably an idiot. But at least I believe it. A lot of the people that we see pushing the left wing, people like Hassan, people like Vaush, I don't think they even believe it. They're just saying what they have to say to keep an audience. Notice Cenk isn't talking about his nephew right now.
Yeah.
He's talking about these disingenuous people. He's not talking about that fucking piece of shit nephew of his. Anyhow, who got up there and cried about that Palestinian baby. Have you guys seen that fucking clip? It's so fucking stupid. Anyway.
Or the more the left refuses to come on, the more you get conservative, right, libertarian, or post-liberal, whatever you want to call it. And then the more your views are going to be shaped by those that are surrounding you. You know, you are the summation of the 5 people that surround you.
100% right, Tim. So like I say this at the very beginning of my book, we have hardware and software right in our heads. So
wait, he wrote a book? Has anybody read Cenk's book?
Is it a coloring book?
It's a puzzle book. It's got dot to dots and that one weird puzzle where you make the boxes and you get points for all the boxes.
Yeah, the connect the dots just draws Anna's old nose.
Yes.
Oh,
Find
man.
Anna's old nose.
Hidden pictures. It's all like animals he wants to pleasure.
Fugi says Hassan literally calls himself a propagandist, and Vaush has said he condones lying to win on an argument. Oh, yes, absolutely. They don't even believe what they say.
I think they believe some of it, especially the weird sex shit. That would not surprise me at all.
One thing I hate is when someone says something as if it's true and then says right or okay. It's like, is that a verbal tick when you assume you're right and that everyone agrees with you? Thank you, Black Romeo. No, look, I do that a lot to Jack. I'm like, right, Jack? It's not so much a verbal tick. It's kind of a way to push the conversation. I probably should, actually lay out a question for you, or like I'll even ask you, am I wrong on that? And no, it's just a way to keep conversation flowing.
Our hardware.
Oh, and yes, it is partially to reaffirm your own opinion. But anyway, ghost written likely. I doubt it, which makes me really want it. I bet this motherfucker wrote his own book, and I kind of want to read it now.
Somebody dropped the link. Oh, Pirates dropped the link for it in the chat.
Where's our DNA and what we're predisposed to?
What's it called? Justice Coming, Progressive Country, America? What? Hang on, I got to see this.
Hypnagogic, sorry, dropped it over on the other channel too.
How progressives are going to take over the country and America's gonna love it. And it's got a fist with a lightning bolt in it. Sure. His little commie manifesto. We're only 10 minutes into this thing.
It's gonna be a long day.
So maybe later we can get into my hardware, which is complicated because I'm generally very progressive in my nature. But there are parts of me that are conservative.
Using your own bullshit, you are one of those people who isn't really lefty. Because if you go back far enough, guys, Cenk had a lot of righty kind of ideology.
Wasn't he like a Republican at one point?
I don't know if he was an actual Republican, but I know that he had some right-wing views. And you got to go back to the point where he talked about women's titties and had to apologize for it. Have you ever seen that clip?
Probably, but I try and block this chunky slush fund out. He's some kind of strange-looking man.
This guy, he wants, and he's had to apologize for it twice because he was being very, very sexist. Especially by today's standards, he was being horribly sexist. But yeah, around that time, he was more right wing. So by his own standards, he's a grifting piece of shit you should never listen to.
Yeah, well, I mean,
am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Thank you, Frosted Glass. You're not left wing. You've always been far right. I bet you want to bomb all the Muslims too, you fascist scammer. Don't even pretend you're left wing. I'm sorry, sir, but I just can't let you take that many mayonnaise packets.
Black Romeo follows up. I don't know why that just did that there. Black Romeo follows up. Saying right, Jack, is more conversational, but when Cenk does it, he is only doing it to reinforce his beliefs as true. Listen to him as he speaks. Right, okay, right. Again, well, you have to realize a lot of the time that he's speaking, he is doing it on his show, and it can be, look, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. There are times I run into somebody in person, and if I have to speak about myself, which I do from time to time, I will accidentally call myself monkey. And I'm not trying to excuse him here, but if Tim Pool...
I ducked out. Monkey, are you back yet?
Am I back right? Am I back now? There we go.
Right.
Sorry. What I was saying is if Tim was a good host, when Cenk does say right, he would cut in there and go, no, you're wrong about that, and actually have that conversation. You are right that it's kind of him reinforcing his own bullshit. So I got you. But part of this falls onto Timmy. He's up there on that fence post, and it's hard for him to argue, I guess.
I think sometimes Cenk uses that as a filler word too, like and
Sure, yeah.
So occasionally he's doing it for that, but yeah, it probably is some kind of self-validation thing where he's trying to trick people into agreeing with him.
That like, I don't like change. I like staying in the same house. I like driving on the same road, et cetera, et cetera. So the hardware is a little complicated, but the software is the interesting part. Software is where you get all of your ideas from. And where
did he just call himself interesting?
Yes, well, he's talking about his hardware and software, remember, because he's trying to make himself sound special. And why does it look like he's about to grab somebody's ball sack?
Because he probably is. He's reaching for Timmy's. Just in case you guys weren't sure of it, I'm very interesting. I'm really, really interesting.
I'm super special, you guys.
Jesus Christ, Cenk.
Where do you get them from? You get them from family, friends, media, your surroundings, etc. The bubble that you're in. And we're all in a bubble.
School?
And
yes,
and I try to get the left to understand.
Let me pause. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, like the education system, like
Yes.
trans ideology. So you're saying that you're influenced by the people around you for validation. You might agree with them. How interesting. Okay.
I'm back. Sorry. We're just watching these guys. I'm going to switch to my other internet. Can you talk for just a minute?
Sure. Somebody's watching my live stream. Somebody's touching my rainbow. Please don't touch it there. That's a no square. Oh, no, I don't like the way that feels. Cenk's special, all right? Yeah, I swear that dude should have a helmet.
He absolutely should.
Doing pretty good, Dustin. How you doing?
All right, so guys, it's going to turn into the slideshow, but we should still be able to hear them okay. I would rather them have issues than us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you don't actually want to look at these people, so.
All right, back to Timmy and Cenky Cenk. Cenky Cenk.
Understand, brothers and sisters, the right wing's not the only people in the bubble. Like, we think MAGA's nuts, right? We think like the election being stolen is the craziest thing that anybody's ever thought. And I
except in 2016.
Yeah, well, that was different, monkey. Can't talk about that. Shh.
Or 2000.
Shh. We don't talk about that except what they're allowed to.
Yeah, they only think it's okay to talk about elections being stolen when they lose. And then it's perfectly fine.
They don't lose, monkey. They have the perfect ideology that everyone needs to adopt. To go against them is to go against their god, Karl Marx. And how dare you, you witch, you heretic, you blasphemer.
Believe that 100%. Okay, so they're in their bubble in our opinion. But we have our own bubble.
Do you?
Right? And so, and our own bubble has some things that aren't true in it either.
Yeah, like 99% of it. Thank you, Grimm's Bar, who says, irony, ammo box behind Cenk. Yeah, there's also a truth bomb, so yeah.
And I can give you some prominent examples in a minute. But now the new thing that's happening, getting to the core of your original question, Tim, is that now I sense a disturbance in the force. And before, everything was left.
He just went Star Wars on our ass.
Hey, he's hip with the kids, making a relevant cultural analogy.
There's a disturbance in the force.
Yeah, it's Disney's stock price.
It's the food chain with you as a part of it.
I sense a disturbance in the force.
Yeah.
And before, everything was left wing or right wing, and it isn't that anymore.
Is he insane?
50-50 on that one. I don't know.
Especially in the last 6 months or so, I have started to see hosts who are no longer easy to define.
Yeah.
Okay, that have opinions that are in different parts of the spectrum. And then the best part of it is I started to see the audience in left-wing audiences, right-wing audiences, middle audiences starting to have opinions all over the political spectrum.
Yeah, that used to be a thing until you guys decided on your purity test, dickhead.
Yeah, how
This is
dare
why
you
we
have
had
opinions.
things like the Blue Dog Democrats. Do you guys know what a Blue Dog Democrat is? It's a Democrat who's basically a Republican. It's how we had things like Mitt Romney, who's a Republican, but he's a Massachusetts Republican.
Yeah, they're just rhinos.
This is not what I mean. What he's describing is not new. It's just it's been muted for a while because we had to have all of this purity bullshit that mostly came from people like you.
And that's actually a beautiful thing.
I agree.
And the reason that that's great is because these preset ideologies, just believing in them is irrational. Like, so what? We're supposed to be either left wing or right.
I hate when I agree with Cenk, but he's right here. This part is right. We should have, I've always said we should have 4 political parties, Jack, at the very minimum, because basically your politics comes down to fiscal and social, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you should have fiscal conservative who's social conservative. That's one, where it's both conservative. And then you should have fiscal and social liberals. And then you should have a fiscal conservative who's socially liberal and a social conservative who's fiscally liberal. There should be at least 4 to cover all of those bases. And instead, it's like, no, you have to vote for this guy because he's our man. He is right, but I don't think he actually believes it. I think what happened, and this is we'll have to see how this bears out because they seem to be fighting against it right now. Because of the shit that happened with Anna, I think this was his wake-up call. I think this was where Cenk realized just how fucked up the left was. Because to come out and call Anna Kasparian a conservative is fucking retarded.
Well, that's how far left they are now.
That is helmet wearing, bib wearing, window licking retarded. But because she said that women are actually women and that you shouldn't have penises in female spaces, they're, oh my God, she's Hitler.
Oh, worse. She's J.K. Rowling.
Yes, she's J.K. Rowling. Worse than Hitler. That's right. So I think that's been a bit of a wake-up call for him. And you've seen it recently where the very same stuff that he's pointing at, like with Greenwald and Tulsi, that's coming for you, Cenk, if you don't go back to Dumbville. He has to turn off his brain to have his other beliefs when talking about this stuff.
And that comes with like 80 different policy points on each side. And somehow magically, we're supposed to agree with all 80 on the right wing side or all 80 on the left wing side.
He was just talking.
That's not how humanity works.
He was just talking about Rubin, and it literally started with him disagreeing with them on one thing. What a douchebag. Oh my God.
Right? We wind up in different parts of the spectrum for different issues.
True.
So I've noticed this too, because we've had guests on that I would probably describe as
shit. We mostly have a conservative audience, Jack, and we've disagreed with them all the time.
Yeah.
They disagree with us.
Yeah, but we still like all of them and they like us, hopefully.
Because that's healthy and that's how it should be. And that's what we've fostered. These two assholes haven't. Hey, Timmy, bring me on your show. Let me take you to school, homie. And bring Cenk on with me, please.
You might have to fight your way out of there.
Perhaps. Get past the skate park. I want my $2. Never.
tribalist left,
Mhm.
and they hold default positions you expect to hear on Twitter, on X, or whatever, or in the news. And then we'll have people like Destiny on, and Destiny will give a well thought out, reasonable response addressing the points that were made and have a real conversation about where his positions are. The fast.
And for the record, I know a lot of people hate Destiny, but if you're that says it's okay, you're allowed to be wrong sometimes. I love you too, sweetie. When it comes to Destiny, I still think he has to talk himself into left-wing positions. But if you're talking about a left winger, if you want to be as honest as possible when dealing with one, Destiny is the way to go. I'm just saying.
Hypnagogic points out something that we're an hour and a half into the stream and we're 12.5 minutes into the video.
And then he just realized that Richard Moll passed away. Yes, yeah, RIP. You know, I like to say thanks for the memories for those kind of guys. And I mean it with both him and Matthew Perry. I still watch their shows and I still love it. Frosted said Destiny at least has some principles. Yes, and he's not what he used to be. If you go back and watch him 5 years ago, he's not the same guy. And you know what? You know what mostly did that, in my
Lord
opinion?
Southern's booty. What?
No. It was dealing with Hassan and Vaush. I truly believe that.
That's probably accurate.
Fascinating thing. I'm a big fan of Destiny. He's great. And he'll passionately say Trump sucks. Like, here's the problems with Trump. And then we'll have other conversations about culture war issues. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's totally true and correct, right? When he said he got in trouble on Twitch for this, Kyle Rittenhouse was the clearest cut case of self-defense he had ever seen.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, that's taboo.
And he was, because it was on video. I mean, that doesn't mean any of the other self-defense cases we've seen weren't, clear cut. It's just, we literally had video of the entire thing
from multiple angles.
Yeah.
Well, but
Tribal-
you're not allowed to watch that video because he should have just taken the beating.
Aspect of it, but I see Destiny as someone. He's just a guy who sees things and forms a moral framework around news, facts, and information. We might disagree on some things, but that's totally fine.
Yeah, I think Destiny is a great example of it, actually. And I was on his show too, and then
I still haven't watched that.
Even though he's to the right of me on a lot of cultural issues, so this is where the spectrum bends. It doesn't even make any sense.
Right.
But people in DC would say he's to the left of me on Democratic Party issues. Like even though I'm running for president on the Democratic side, JakeForAmerica.com, but I think Democratic leadership is awful. And Destiny is like such an interesting character and a bit of an avatar for the new paradigm, because he will not agree with the orthodoxy of some of the left, but then he loves Biden, and I think it's hilarious.
See how much his head is moving? I don't know if we can see it now with the choppier video, but good fucking God, dude. Who is this Destiny person? Destiny is a guy who started out as a Twitch gamer, and it just so happened as he would be gaming, he would be asked about politics and stuff, and he'd talk about politics. And he loves debating people. And so he got really big. He was basically doing what they call blood sports before blood sports was a thing. And he was very good at that because he's very pedantic when he wants to be. And since then, he's actually dialed it back because he wants to be taken seriously.
Yeah, because he was a pretty disingenuous debater.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. I will not disagree with you on that at all, Jack. But since then, he's gotten to be look, you're not going to agree with everything he says, but he really does. At least he explains where he comes from and why. And if you can show him evidence that shows he's wrong, he will admit it and change his opinion on it, which is not something you get from most people talking politics online. Oh, hang on 1 second here. We are on the other internet, so I will start ducking when a donation comes through.
Mm-hmm.
Waiting for it to load because we are. There we go. Disgruntled Technician, thank you again for that feminist $12. A bit of a palate cleanser for this insufferable interview. The union vote went through at work, so now we have a union representing us. No, wait, still tastes like shit. I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. All right, hopefully you're in a state where you don't have to be part of the union. We have that here, at least last I knew in Michigan. It was like, yeah, you can have a union, but I don't have to be a fucking part of it. Can't take my money, can't do shit. So anyway, Vaush's old destiny, 100%. Except for Vaush thinks it's all right to bang kids.
Like he's genuine about it, so I don't mind at all.
Yeah.
Right.
No, okay, that's wrong. He is not always genuine about his opinions. Like I said, he has to talk himself into it. Like with the trans issue, he's against trans in sports, but he's, no, trans women are women. And somebody did bring up to him, well, what about, if somebody claims to be black, is that okay? You're saying you have to identify, whatever they want to identify, you have to take that. And he almost saw it. He's all, I see what you're saying, and then still went back with what he was saying. So he's not always genuine. Be fair. I mean, he was big on being fair earlier.
When it's applied to him, yeah.
But not now.
No, not now.
Vaush is the most morally bankrupt streamer on the internet. I would agree with that. Yeah. And especially if you're talking about anybody with a decent sized audience. Yeah. Hassan is the most retarded, though. I smell YouTube circle jerking. Thank you so much, Mighty Balzac. Actually, I mean, Destiny is on YouTube. He'd prefer to be on Twitch, but he got kicked off over what's that dude's name? The trans person from Canada who said they had a gun put in my face and raised $100,000 to go on a European vacation.
Is that Yaniv? Just
no. Fuck, I can see their face. Keffels, thank you, St. Fugi. Keffels got him kicked off Twitch. Anyway.
Right.
Remember when they said that Kamala Harris was to the left of Bernie Sanders?
Yeah. And then, by the way, then Trump said that she was a Marxist and a communist.
Right.
Well, let's make up our minds.
What they were really saying was that.
How would being to the left of Kamala or being left of Bernie not be Marxist? So, I mean, they'd basically be the same, but you can't go any further left, right? So make up your... What are you talking about? That would be communist. That would be Marxist.
They're just more of a Marxist than Bernie because he's rich.
She does not compromise with Republicans. So her voting record is almost more aligned with Democrat Party politics, whereas Bernie Sanders was willing to compromise with anybody to get a bill through, which shows, in my opinion, more reasonable behavior. But then the media narrative is...
But it doesn't show his actual belief. Go ahead, my friend.
He was just redistributing his votes.
He was. Being willing to compromise doesn't mean you're not lefty. In fact, it means you're lefty because you have to have something you're compromising over. Oh, God. Timmy. These guys are retarded. Why do people listen to these two?
I have no idea.
I mean, look, we're doing it just to laugh at them. What the kids would say is ironically. It's not ironic. It's kind of mean, actually. But
it's out of spite and hatred.
Yes. It's just to laugh at the retarded kids. But the people who watch these guys sincerely, I don't understand. All right, 14 minutes in at an hour and 44 minutes of the show. In fairness to us, at least the first 20 minutes was talking about other stuff.
In fairness, this is fair use. So
that too. Look, there's no way what we're doing is not fair use. All right. I like Timmy's guitar up there because he's a band guy. I'm in the band.
Who's also a skater.
I'm a skater band guy with politics and guns and a truth bomb. This guy's so cringe, man. All right.
So relatable.
My fellow kids.
Because she's voted without Republicans, she's more left, which is like literally makes no sense.
They're talking about what he is talking about is something you can look up on the voting record of different Congress people. And all it is how often they voted on the left side of an issue. That's it. It's not about, whether or not they compromised or anything. It's just a determination, people. It's not the best determination, but it gives a glimpse into it. Because I think like Liz Cheney, she voted with Trump like 96% of the time or 93% of the time. And you can look it up. It's true. But it doesn't actually tell you their morals or their political leanings. It's just how they voted that time. And sometimes you do vote in a certain way to get your way on something else. Anyhow.
I'm going to say something really gross and offensive here. The Kamala compromise would be finishing on her face.
Yes, it would. It would.
Sorry. I don't know why that popped in my head.
Would that be the compromise, or would it be, look.
No, because that's what you want, but she's not gonna. She's like, or you're not getting one, and that's the compromise.
So she's like, you want that? I want it, lower than my chin, so we'll compromise and just hit the face.
Yeah, on the chin.
There you go. All right.
No, that's a great point, because they actually do that to progressives all the time. That's mainstream media trick 101.
It's a meaningless point.
Bernie Sanders is not a real Democrat. Well, but wait a minute. What is it?
He's not a real Democrat. He's an independent. You guys wouldn't vote for him, so he ran independent, and that's how he is. Look, he always caucuses with the Democrats, but if you're going to go by what they say they are, he's a fucking independent, you douchebag. And that's Timmy's laughing. Point. He thinks that's a great point. Hang on, we got to get the full spectrum on this one.
To do that to progressives all the time. That's mainstream media trick 101. Bernie Sanders is not a real Democrat. Well, but wait a minute. What does a real Democrat mean?
Yeah, what is a real Democrat, gatekeeper?
A communist.
The Democrats used to be the party of FDR, and so it meant Social Security.
They're still the party of FDR.
Yeah, it's just more gloves off communism now.
Frosty said Bernie's a fair weather Democrat. Bernie still has to get elected in some place that has some conservatives there that you need to win over to get elected. Which is how a fucking commie keeps getting elected there. Anyway.
LBJ, Medicare and civil rights and voting rights and all these progressive policy positions.
Civil rights was first proposed under Eisenhower.
Yeah.
They voted it down because they didn't want him to get credit for it.
Yeah.
The Democrats voted it down.
We don't talk about that.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Sorry.
We don't talk about the true history of the Democrats.
Or how they founded the Klan.
Yeah.
War on poverty, etc. And Bernie Sanders represents that infinitely better than Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. But the Democratic Party's become corrupted now. And so they vote for things that are not left-wing at all, that are just corporatist. And then
I'm getting really tired of the corporatist thing, because both sides are like, it's the corporatists who are the problem. It's amazing how much the corporatists are part of your fucking party. Just a reminder, Cenk still hasn't answered the question. Dude, I know. He still hasn't officially defined left or right. No, and he won't. And now he wants to talk about true Democrats. Well, look, when it comes to this stuff, he just told us how great it is that people have differing opinions. And if he honestly believed that, he'd be fine with this stuff. But anyway, fuck off.
Media comes in, which is corporate media, and they go, the corporate positions are the Democratic positions.
Oh my God.
They're doing it for the democracy, Cenk.
All right, let's say it is corporatist media, okay? Let's just say that for shits and giggles, Jack.
Sure.
The corporate media are fucking commies. They have the same positions. The Democrats take those positions. It's this incestuous relationship between them. You know why? Because they all came out of fucking college.
Well, and Obama was giving them literal talking points. And
Yes.
the Biden administration is doing the same thing. They're like, here's what we want you to talk about.
The Obama administration got busted having meetings with reporters saying, this is what we want you to talk about this week. No, it's just that corporatist media. Fuck you. They're all the same. They are the unofficial, I guess would be the way to say it, the unofficial PR arm of the Democratic Party. What the fuck are you talking about? No, it's not the Democrats. It's that fucking media. One, you're part of that media, asshole.
Hate fact.
And you coming out, after the 2016 election when Hillary loses, and you're like, we're going to teach them a lesson with our retarded new offshoot of the Democratic Party that got AOC elected. It was still the same shit. It was still the same lefty bullshit. Oh, I just want to punch him in the balls. Not for real, in Minecraft.
It looks like he's punching himself in the balls right there in that pause picture.
I'd give him $5 to nut himself. I really would.
It looks like he's beat you to it.
FDR positions are terrible right-wing positions. You're like, no.
The media is saying FDR's positions were terrible right-wing positions? What media, fucknut?
The Daily Stormer, maybe? I don't know.
Fuck is he watching?
Fiction?
Frosted, thank you, says Cenk debating himself from 5 minutes ago was fun, right? I'm sorry, Jack, I stepped on you there.
No, you're good.
All right, here we go.
Oh, you're making up things that are weird and ridiculous, and that's partly why mainstream media lost all credibility. Claiming that Kamala Harris is further left than Bernie Sanders.
That should be pausing when I hit the space bar.
No,
I just love what he said. You're just making shit up now. Pot, kettle. I know that's a cliche at this point, but it's true. Irony, right? Why is that not working?
Bison buffalo. Well, see, every time you hit the space bar, it redistributes a pause to somebody else's computer. That's how it works now.
Yeah, to whoever I'm pausing out there, I apologize. Here we go.
You'd have to be in an institution to believe that, but that is how but they're tricky. They're liars. So they don't say Kamala Harris is more left wing than Bernie Sanders. They say Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat.
Yeah.
Look it up, fucknut. He doesn't register as a Democrat. Thank you, Grimm's Bar, who says, I'm not anti-Semitic. I have a Jewish friend. Check, right? He's also not an anti-Armenian. He's got an Armenian friend. He's dead, but don't worry about it. All right.
And it cues the Democratic voters to think he's a Republican because he's not a Democrat, when in reality he's further left than the Democrats. The media knows that trick, but they go, technically, I didn't say he wasn't left wing. I said he wasn't a Democrat. Technically, he's not.
Well, I think.
You mean in reality? Okay, here's the history of Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders runs for Congress. He loses the primary, so he runs as an independent, wins as an independent, and has not changed since. That's just how it happened. He should probably classify himself as a Democrat, but he is further left-wing than most Democrats used to be. He is not further left than AOC. AOC took her shit straight from him. Same with Liz Warren. This is the modern Democratic Party, is Bernie Sanders. And nobody's out there thinking, because they say he's not technically a Democrat, that he's a fucking Republican, you fat piece of shit. Can we talk about the genocide of straw men that Cenk is committing? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're all dressed like Armenian peasants.
Yes, indeed.
Somewhere an archaeologist will uncover this mass grave of straw men that Cenk has buried.
Caused this fracture in 2015 into 16. Bernie was too far left, and they could not let him gain popularity in the party. They could not let him win the nomination. It was a meteoric rise. Donald Trump.
He had no okay. Sorry. He had no chance of winning. They were actually fine with Bernie pushing everything left. It's what they've wanted for a long time. They've been accused of being commies and socialists. And they're like, no, we're not. Bernie allowed them to go, yeah, I'm a social democrat is what I am.
Democratic socialists.
So one, fuck off with that nonsense. He had no meteoric rise. Check the numbers. He had no chance of beating Hillary. They still cheated him. That's true. But it's like cheating to you're 600 yards ahead in a 700-yard race. And for some reason, you jump in a car and drive across the finish line. You were going to win anyway. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Jack.
I got a better one. It's like you're in the lead of a foot race, and you still have one of your friends go out and Nancy Kerrigan, the dude behind you.
Yes, go break their knees.
Sorry, I had to get a Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan in there.
It's funny. I actually watched a video about that the other day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. There's so much synchronicity that happens on this show.
That's because we're awesome.
But Bernie did not get cheated. He was bought off with another mansion. No. He was still cheated and was bought off with another mansion.
Yeah, you can have both.
Yeah.
Trump was called by Vox.com a moderate Republican.
He is. Trump is a moderate Republican.
Yeah.
Trump is almost a liberal, for fuck's sake.
He was a Democrat for like 40 years. Come on.
And he was actually taking more moderate, even right-leaning Democrat positions to try and generate mass appeal, resulting in the Democrats having to oppose whatever it is Trump was suggesting, and then creating this weird amalgam of neocons and neoliberals taking corporate establishment positions, which was then the left.
These corporate establishment positions. Look, the fact that whatever Donald Trump could come out and say, we need to breathe air, and the liberals would come out and go, we shouldn't breathe air. It's racist. Donald Trump likes it. That is not a corporate thing that happened, you fucking retard.
And oxygen now.
Gee, seriously, how do people watch this sincerely? I don't understand. Somebody make it make sense.
I have to assume that obviously most of the audience doesn't follow politics anywhere near as much as we do.
I'm guessing most of their audience knows their favorite flavor of Windex.
Oh, that's a possibility.
I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, so, like you got to. We try to have that. I have this debate very often with people on the right when they say leftists hate guns, and I'm like, no, the left they like guns. Liberals want gun control. There
we go. There's a difference. There's the left and the liberals. And you know what? There was a time that's true. But they've been pushing this whole, your corporatist media who doesn't like the left-wing positions. They've been pushing the gun control thing for decades.
You know what corporations also have? There's gun companies out there.
No, there's not. How dare you, Jack?
I know. Shocking.
The left want guns for themselves. That is true.
Distinction there. Mm-hmm. But the media will only give you one narrative, and they try to lump everyone into the same categories.
Yes. Where are all the liberals out there who are pushing for guns? Where are the ones who are pushing for gun rights? I'm happy to hear from them.
But you're sitting at Antifa groups, remember?
Hey, there's a difference here. Where are they? There used to be them, Jack. You used to have liberal Congress people like, hey, I'm still for the guns. My constituents love to go hunting. But you know what they've done now? You have to remember that a lot of this with the gun control is, what do they call it, Jack? Sensible gun control.
We need common sense gun reform.
Common sense gun reform. And they're all for that shit. So stop it.
So the phenomenon you described about Trump and opposing Trump is, I think, 95% right. And it really saddens me, sickens me that the Democratic Party has been taken over by neoliberals and neocons. And I mean, just look at MSNBC. It's wall to wall former Republicans
And intelligence officials.
and and generals and former Republican congressmen. I mean, Nicole Wallace is celebrated, like in DC, she's the belle of the ball. Nicole.
Wait, Jack, didn't we hear just a little bit ago about how the right wing will embrace the former lefts?
Yes. What he's actually talking about is spooks and communists.
Jack, you got to be careful with that word.
Oh, I'm sorry. Spies and commies.
There you go. Spies.
We used to be able to say that in reference to spies.
Well, I think we still can. We just got to make sure that people understand when we say spook, we're talking about CIA, not the offensive racist stereotype.
Yeah.
There we go. We just got to be careful.
Yeah, because MSNBC is shockingly white.
Look, the fact he's, it's all these former Republicans. Yeah, but they're lefties now. And frankly, for all you're talking about how they were secretly this way all the time, one of the people he's talking about is John Brennan. And John Brennan's thing is fuck Trump and let's blow shit up. That's it.
Huh, that sounds very left-wing to me.
It is. These days, that is left-wing, and you can't blame it on the media, fucknut. You know what the media does? They have people come on and talk about this shit. I really wish he had chapters on here so we could jump to something more that's not going to make me as annoyed with this stupid shit, because this is just dumb.
Well, somebody said there's a part in here where they talk about his eligibility to run for office.
I would be interested. I would be interested in that part. Well, let's just let him talk for a little bit.
Wallace, Trump resistor extraordinaire. Her job was very literally to be the mouthpiece for George W. Bush and Dick Cheney as they were starting the most disastrous wars in U.S. history.
Jack, you know why I stopped voting for major party candidates?
You're an outsider who wants to rebel against the system?
Nope.
Oh.
I stopped doing it because... Oh, hang on.
We're left to the cliffhanger.
All right, I stopped doing it because George W. Bush, to placate American unions, put a massive tariff on metals from overseas.
Oh, yeah, the Chinese steel and whatnot.
Yeah, and actually what we ended up using was European steel, and it was fucking garbage. And seeing this Republican bending over backwards for the unions, that's not supposed to happen. And I realized in that moment that these guys who end up being president typically don't actually give a fuck about their values. He was the mouthpiece for George W. Bush. Look at George Bush's actual voting stuff. Look at the stuff he signed. How much money he spent. Disgruntled technician, thank you so very much again for that. Feminist, $12. I do watch Tim for something other than just to laugh. He does talk about the news a bit, and I can handle listening to him far more than anybody further to the left. It's also some passive media I can listen to while working. I do run out of podcasts. I guess I can see that. I just don't understand how you can listen to this guy and think he's got a brain. He's a fucking retard.
It's a good time to remind everybody. We're brought to you by you. If you're enjoying the show, be sure and hit the like button, share it on your social media, subscribe if you haven't. You can join the membership for the channel too, so Monkey can have some more money for ramen.
Indeed.
And if you're feeling generous, you can toss us a couple bucks at the Streamlabs link going through your chat, pinned at the top of the YouTube chat and in the description of both streams.
Appreciated but never expected. If you can, toss a tip into the hat. Bubba says, knowing both of you, this is probably the least annoying part. That is disturbing. Oh, fuck. Jack, should we just pick a random spot and start listening?
Well, I don't care. I mean, we could do this in two nights if you want, because we're only like 20 minutes in.
How does George W. Bush, how has he recovered his favorability among Democrat voters? You've seen the polls, right?
Yeah.
One, if you paid attention to what actually happened during Bush, he's not all that right wing. And two, He rejected Donald Trump. That is how it happened. That's it. And then he started, hanging out with Michelle Obama because apparently they were peeing at urinals next to each other one day. And they're like, oh, you got a big dick. Yeah, so do you. And that they became friends. That's it. That is all that happened. How did he recover it? Well, he's not president, so it's not like he's been passing any policy. Fuck.
Stargazer said we're going to need a week to cover this.
We might.
And that's what drives me crazy. So Liz Cheney opposes Trump. I think it's courageous, and I appreciate her for it. But
it's not courageous. It's not like Trump was out there shooting people who disagreed with him. It's courageous. She had an opinion. Why is having an opinion seen as fucking courageous?
Lowered expectations.
I disagree with everything else that she says and does. You don't have to lose your mind and be like, Liz Cheney's now a good guy, and I love Liz Cheney. No. If you give her an opportunity, she'd start the next war in about half a second.
Again, I hate disagreeing or agreeing with this fucking piece of shit, but he's right here. It's the same thing that's going on right now with RFK Jr. and the right. Just because you agree with a couple of his things, please stop lionizing this guy. He's a fucking idiot. But anyway.
And then then Nancy Pelosi hugging Dick Cheney. No, Dick Cheney is prime evil. So you don't hug Darth Vader because he's against some other Sith Lord.
Well, let's talk about you run for president.
Oh God.
Can you be president?
No.
The argument being that you were not born in the United States. You're
okay, not just not born in the United States, because Ted Cruz was not born in the United States, but he is a natural citizen. He is a child of natural citizens.
Yeah.
So it's not just being born in the United States, guys.
Your parents were not American citizens when you were born?
No, they weren't, actually. I saw you said that. I appreciate that you were looking for you were almost looking out for me, but they weren't. No, I just
want to know. A lot of people on Twitter were saying that you're the first thing that happened was we talked about your campaign. The first thing I said was if it was between like Mitt Romney and Joe Biden, I'm voting for you.
Yeah.
And
okay. Jack, I don't vote for the major party candidates.
Indeed.
But if somebody held a gun to my head, it's like you have to vote for Mitt Romney, Joe Biden, or Cenk. I'm not even considering Cenk at all.
Why would you?
Wow. Do you think he's just sucking up, or do you think he honestly would do that?
I think he honestly would do that. But, the last thing we need, we already had the first lady, and they're talking about the first gentleman. I don't need the first pony.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I'd be opposed just on those grounds. I stand firmly against bestiality.
Yeah, you just came out and said that you would vote for the guy who thinks pleasuring an animal for the animal's pleasure is okay. And he said that twice.
Mm-hmm.
And
I would vote for Romney 100 times out of 100 in that situation.
Sadly, yeah, I would agree with that, because the dementia patient or the animal enthusiast,
yeah,
I can't bring myself to vote for them. And as milk-toasted annoying as Romney is, and I don't like him, I'd vote for him over the other two.
Yeah. Do you want to vote for the guy who put his dog on top of the car, or the guy who thinks it's okay to put the dog under, him?
Ooh.
That's your choice here.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Dustin says just not vote. I mean, again, gun to my head, you got to vote for one of them. All right.
Damn right. ChenkForAmerica.com.
But it's because I even donated to Nancy Pelosi's progressive primary
Of course
rifle
you did.
because I think, she's prime evil. I would rather have an idealistic young person who's wrong than evil corporate Nancy Pelosi enriching herself through government. And
how does this relate to how can Cenk run for president?
That's a good question. You just said you'd vote for somebody who's absolutely wrong. You donated to somebody you think is absolutely wrong. I hate Nancy Pelosi. But in that scenario, I would go with Pelosi over somebody who's like, nah, everything that idiot just said is wrong. Jesus Christ, man.
And squeezing the vestiges of power until she dies. It's horrifying. But when this came up, Phil Labonte immediately was like, Cenk's not a naturalized citizen. He can't be president. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, then what are we talking about? So explain, good sir.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm mainly in the race to make sure that Biden drops out. So I want to talk about that a lot.
We like that.
Yeah, he's at 37.
You have no power to make him drop out. You can't be elected. Any vote for you is a null vote. He honestly thinks he has the power to make Biden drop out. You couldn't get elected to Congress. That was a single race. That wasn't even the Senate, fucker. That is a single district, and you couldn't get people to vote for you.
I think he would much prefer to be the dog catcher, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. You think he wanted to be a veterinarian when he grew up?
I think he wanted to be the animal whisperer. And
just
sweet nothings in their ear while he caresses them gently.
Completely off topic. I just got to talk about my grandchildren for a minute. The little was over, and she was having a FaceTime with the little, and they're talking, and the little says she wants to be a teacher when she grows up. And somebody asked the youngest, they said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And she said, I want to be a superhero.
Nice.
And it just resonated with me because I've grown up my whole life hearing people talk about what they wanted to be when they grow up. And I've said this many times. I honestly wanted to be Batman. Of all of the things I'd ever heard, a firefighter or in the military, be a scientist, like, nah, bro, I want to be a superhero.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Especially Batman. He's rich, he's athletic.
Yeah.
He gets to run around, beat people up, and he's genius.
Cool car, cool cave. Yeah, anything he ever wanted was right there. Even shark repellent.
Yeah. And he gets to pull hot chicks.
Yeah. I learned about that later. I was 5 at the time.
But I mean, like the gadgets alone are fucking awesome.
I just love that her answer was, I want to be a superhero. Because that's how, to me, I feel like that's how children should think.
Yeah.
Anyhow, back to this. Why you hate your parents so much, Monkey? What do you mean I hate my parents? I love my parents. All right. Because his parents got killed. That's right. Well, at the time, I'm 5 years old, and I did not know that part of his background. So just saying. All right.
Percent. You shouldn't like that. You should be opposed to me because
I should. Yes, I am.
The Republicans in the right wing should want Biden in this race.
No, that's not why I'm opposed to you. I'm opposed to you because you can't fucking run. Look, it doesn't mean that you're actually going to love your country and put it first, as we've seen with Joe Biden. But the point of that whole thing is that you are dedicated to America, that you didn't come from somewhere else, that there's no secondary love for another country that you're going to be, like say Ukraine, where you're going to be like, we're going to take care of this country rather than our own. There's a reason for having to be a natural citizen. And you know what? It doesn't always work out, but at least it's some kind of gateway there.
He's the weakest possible candidate for the Democrats.
True.
He's sitting at 37.
No, not true. Kamala would get her ass kicked. I would, if I'm a Republican running right now, I would rather run against Kamala than Joe.
Yeah, Kamala would get annihilated like Mondale or the other guy.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
7% in the polling. He's down 10 points in independents, down in 5 out of 7 swing states. I have him at over 90% likelihood of losing. So if you're a right winger, you should turn around.
Time out. Did you just hear what he said? I have him at 90% chance of losing. You want to talk about 2016, homie? Remember how happy you were on election night at the beginning of it in 2016?
Ah, man, that video was beautiful.
I watched it probably about a month ago now. I love watching the TYT. It's from Dame Pesos, if you guys are interested in watching it. It's the TYT meltdown in the 2000. I think it's just called TYT meltdown. You can look it up that way or look up Dame Pesos TYT election and you'll find it. It's wonderful to watch them. They get so sad. And then Cenk gets mad. I don't think it's in the video, but after the election is called and Donald Trump wins it, there is this moment where Cenk talks to the camera for probably 5 minutes about how he's going to destroy the Democratic Party. It's one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen. Dame's laugh really sells it. I hate Dame Pesos' laugh. I fucking hate it.
There's the video.
Oh, thank you. But I still love that video.
Now and be like, yeah, let's go Joe Biden. Okay, whatever the opposite of let's go Brandon is. Because that brother's going to lose.
You think, oh, okay. He wants the opposite of let's go Brandon? He does realize that is sarcastic, right?
I don't know. I don't know if he understands what fuck Joe Biden means.
All right.
There's almost no chance he wins.
I agree.
And he doesn't know how to campaign. He doesn't know how to fight for his voters. Like the Mike Johnson gets elected.
He doesn't have to because of the corporate media you were talking about 10 minutes ago, you dumb fuck.
Yeah, and that old man doesn't know how to get off a stage or not to shake hands with ghosts.
Yeah, there's much bigger problems. He beat Trump in 2020. Wait, do you not believe he beat Trump? Cenk?
Well, at least we can agree on some things,
Cenky.
Speaker of the House, right? I think he's extreme MAGA. I think he's a nut job in 1,000 different ways. We can get into it later. And then when the press secretary is asked about it by Peter Alexander at NBC, they get into Biden mode where they're like, well, that was in the past and we're looking forward to the future and we're looking forward to working with him. Why are you defending Mike Johnson, who's the leader of the other party?
Okay. You guys talked about Bernie Sanders, compromising just a couple minutes ago. They're not supporting Mike Johnson. They're saying, I look forward to working with him because that's what they got to do, you dumb son of a bitch. Oh my God. This actually hurts. They're getting ready. They have to pass the omnibus, which isn't something they should be doing. They should be doing an actual budget. Either way, they're getting ready to do that. And they have to work with the House, you fucking idiot. Am I happy about it? No. Is it what is going to happen? Absolutely. If they want to get shit done, they have to work with him. That's why they said it, you fucking idiot. God, this guy's pissing me off. If you got to be president, what are you going to do? Say, fuck the House, we'll do what we want? You can't do it. That's not how it fucking works. Oh man, that one set me off. They weren't fucking supporting the guy.
You're supposed to fight for us. You're not supposed to go around being like, and Biden says it in nearly every speech. Oh, my Republican friends, I love Republicans so much.
And he doesn't mean it. He says it because that's what they're told you have to do to bring people together, asshole. He hasn't given us really examples on anything he's talked about. And this is why, because he's full of shit.
I don't know how you had problems getting a thumbnail of this guy.
Well, look how blurry that is.
Yeah, it's because he's vibrating so quickly and he's probably hairy like a Sasquatch. So he's in a blurry area.
Trying to get his fucking head won't stop moving.
It's the Parkinson's, I'm telling you.
I worked so well with Mitch McConnell and Kevin McCarthy. We've been ripping off the American people on behalf of corporate donors for decades. Wait, did I say that last part out loud? No. Okay, he didn't say the last part out loud. But even if you don't think that, you, even if you're the most hardcore Biden dude in the world, which congratulations, there's 3 of you. Okay, there's like no enthusiasm. I can get into that too. It's not going to change the fact that the country's not into him. Like,
what do you think about what Matt Gaetz did with McCarthy?
So that's another one that's long and complicated, because I thought that there were good parts of that, and then of course disastrous parts of it. Right?
I love it.
Yeah, but let me answer your question about the native born issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so
10 minutes later, he's going to answer the fucking question. That's not my fault this time, guys.
No. By the way, did you see that Pence dropped out today?
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Not shocking. He had less than $1 million or just over $1 million left, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm shocked he didn't try to make it to the next debate, but good. Although I am going to miss him on the debate stage, because him trying to distance himself from Trump while taking credit for everything Trump did is fucking funny. I guess we just gotta wait for Christie to say stupid shit.
There's always Chris Christie.
When is the next debate?
I don't know.
All right, back to Fat Man here. And I can call him that because I'm fat too. I have fat privilege.
That's true. We're both
Come
fat
on.
people.
Come on, Fat Man.
I'm not a native born citizen. I'm a naturalized citizen.
Which means
Okay.
you can't be president.
And so everybody then goes, well, duh, can't you read, man? It's in the Constitution. It says right there you have to be native born. Yeah, that's in the original Constitution. And
in the original Constitution, as opposed to the other one. Look, we've changed parts of the Constitution. 3/5, being the one everybody talks about because they don't understand it. We've never changed the natural citizen part.
Yeah, it was in the penumbra. There was a little arrow and said naturalized. Also, there was a swap out. See, Nicolas Cage stole the original, and they replaced it with one from the Reptilians.
That's right. He stole that because there was a part of a map on the back of it.
Yes. So if there's no map on the back of it, then too bad. Or was that the Declaration? I don't remember.
It was the Declaration. I don't know if they went after the Constitution too.
That was probably a sequel they didn't make. Just go with the joke. It's not. I don't have to be factually accurate in humor.
And right next to it is a clause that says that black people are 3/5 of a person,
which was amended, asshole. And just for a reminder, the 3/5 of a person was to limit the power of the slave states. It wasn't to say black people aren't worth anything. It was to limit their power. They wanted to count all of the slaves who had no voting rights as people so they could have more congressmen and higher count in the electoral count. The slave states were trying to abuse the slaves, and that was to limit that. God, I fucking hate that argument.
Well, can't you read, man? It's in the Constitution. It's right there, man. Yeah, but there's a thing called amendments that amend the Constitution.
Where's the amendment?
So that part got amended out, the 3/5 part, obviously. Tons of the Constitution got amended out. And the natural born citizen.
Actually, tons of them haven't. There's been like 4 or 5 changes to the original Constitution. We changed how we vote for senators. We changed the 3/5 rule.
Yeah, the 19th. Say it, the 19th. That's the one we're all upset about.
Cenk, you have a point that stuff in the Constitution has been changed, but what you're talking about has not.
Thing was amended out by the 14th Amendment. So the 14th Amendment says very, very clearly, anyone who is born or naturalized has due process and equal protection of the laws. So the Supreme Court is
no, that's his argument. No.
Let's hear him out. This is going to get dumber.
Oh
I just know it.
Okay. All right.
Rule of due process and equal protection means you have the same exact rights, and they didn't put naturalized in there by accident. They put it in on purpose.
Using that fucking logic, a 5-year-old can run for president.
Because the age demographic thing would be a problem too. Then
Yes, there is a limit on to run for Congress, to run for the House, the Senate, and for the presidency. You have to be 25 to run for the House, 30 to run for the Senate, and 35 to run for the presidency. And the way he's saying this, anybody can run. He's actually taking the AOC argument when people were making jokes about her running. And she's like, well, I can because the 14th says anybody can do it. No. That does not change the requirements for the president, you fucking idiot.
Well, I, for one, would vote for Billy T-Rex Batman because that's how he identifies. I would vote for him because I like his idea of no mandatory bedtimes and the nap time protest.
Yeah,
So,
I'm on the Billy T-Rex train. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Billy T-Rex Batman is the hero we need at this time.
Billy T-Rex Batman and his ice cream for dinner platform, I'm on board with.
Yes.
Yeah.
A scoop at every meal. Yes.
Disgruntled technician, thank you again. Hearing that argument, the only thing I can think is our expectations were low, but holy shit. Yeah, I was not expecting this to be where he went. That's fucking retarded.
Do we count physical age or mental age? Dude, I don't know. This is the dumbest fucking argument I've heard in a long time.
Oh, God.
I mean, I give him points for creativity, but this is just fucking stupid.
Very clearly amends the earlier part of the Constitution where naturalized citizens did not have equal rights. Now we do have equal rights.
The 14th Amendment was saying slaves are U.S. citizens. That's all it was saying, fucknut.
Richard pointed out that he based it on part of a SCOTUS decision, but ignored the paragraph after that excludes the president and VP from the decision.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Cenk doesn't. He's like Hunter Avalon. He just cherry picks what he wants to hear.
Hey, Richard, do you know what decision that was?
I mean, that's, again, the whole point of the 14th Amendment was to take out the discrimination in the earlier part of the Constitution. And they didn't say
for slaves, you fucking idiot.
Real quick. Thank you, Frosted Glass. Congressman, I know we almost never amend the Constitution anymore, but I think his bipolar horse fucker with meat sweats is worth it. Yeah, and I think that should be on his campaign shirts. This bipolar horse fucker with meat sweats is worth it. Thank you, Frosted.
Cenk, if that's real, why did you have to cross out the natural citizen and put naturalized on your Colorado application, you fucking idiot?
Well, they obviously don't understand the 14th Amendment. But yeah, Assassin's right. This guy's made a fanfic of the Constitution.
The part of the Constitution that he's talking about, the 14th Amendment, that part where it's talking about all the rights therein, that was only for slaves. That's all it meant. The rest of the 14th, because I believe the 14th, is that the one that changes the Senate? I want to say it is, but don't quote me on that. But anyway, the rest of the 14th, has a lot of implications going forward. That first part is almost entirely about slaves. It has been used for a lot of stuff, but it's about slaves, for fuck's sake. Go look up the arguments at the time. Look at when it passed. It passed in 1865, if I remember correctly. Maybe it was 1867.
That was in the 1860s.
But it was entirely about slavery, for fuck's sake. Ah, you fucking asshole.
like, oh, born and naturalized have equal protection of the laws, asterisks, except for those goddamn naturalized citizens, they're not allowed to be president.
Which, again, I want to read the case, but if what we're told in chat is true, yeah, it literally said that, you fucking idiot. The case you're basing this on literally says, except for the president. It's kind of like when these idiots talk about the Hatch Act. Like the Hatch Act, the president broke the Hatch Act. It is literally impossible for the president to break the Hatch Act. He can't do it because he has an exception, him and the vice president. Because they're always on duty. Excuse me.
Nah.
If they wanted to say that, they could have said that, but there is no asterisks. They didn't say that. They said, no, naturalized citizens have all the same rights.
Some people brought up that there was already a recent Supreme Court ruling which basically ruled the other direction.
Yeah.
Like, no, this is not how.
Oh,
It's
Yeah,
we
so
can talk about
there's
it.
mixed rulings, no question. So there's
mixed
in
rules?
Schneider v. Russ, they say that naturalized citizens and natural born Americans have the same exact rights. It would be wildly unconstitutional to treat naturalized citizens as quote unquote second class citizens. Okay. Now in Schneider, they mention the presidential clause, but they don't comment on it. They don't say yes or no to it.
They just mentioned that it's a clause. Okay, seriously, if you can find that, he's looking it up. If you can find that, please let me know, because I'd be very interested. And he said Schneider. Anyway,
No, Santa was a clause.
Santa was a clause.
Also, with the Hatch Act, I don't think you could violate that if you're John Locke, because he hit the button all the time. Even though when they took over in shifts down in the bunker, it was John Locke who hit the button most often, I think. So he kept the place from exploding. I saw Lost. I know.
That's
That's a bit of a dated reference, but it's still funny to me.
Sorry, I'm skimming through the case. It's Schneider versus State. Let's type in president. No, there's too many words that start with press. Oh, no, it doesn't. I'll have to pull up the actual case to read it. Anyway, back to this idiot.
Just note it and move on. Okay.
It's
and then there's
it would be noted to say that this is still. See, this is why you don't belong as president. You don't understand how the Supreme Court and the Constitution works.
Well, if we were going with that rule, we'd have to kick a lot of people out of office in general.
And for the record, I support that 100%.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who's watching. We have a decent sized audience. Thank you so much, everyone. Don't forget to hit the like button or the thumbs up, depending on if you're on YouTube or Rumble. And if you're enjoying the show and are so inclined, please donate to Jack or myself.
Yeah, we're poor. Give us money. Give us money. Money.
Yeah, YouTube never gave us $20 million. So
no, that YouTube kind of hates us.
If YouTube gave us $20 million, I would still have most of it.
This guy Hassan did a kind of a fake run. He's a good guy, good intentions. I imagine, I don't know him personally, but kind of did this amateur litigation, and the courts then didn't really get a chance to fully consider it. He came in with a really weak case, and so he got some rulings against him.
Especially with the court we have right now, what they would do is read the Federalist Papers. They would read the writings of people like Hamilton and Madison that are outside of the federal papers.
I don't think Sotomayor would do any of that.
No, Sotomayor and Kagan and who's that other lefty who's still there?
That new bitch.
Jackson, Ketanji Brown Jackson. Those three wouldn't even pay attention to it and just say, no, it sucks. They should be able to do it.
What do you mean that the rights granted to the government go to the people? What?
Yeah. Even the three that are questionable on a lot of cases would be like, no, it's clear there's a reason for it and we're going to keep it. Especially when we look at things like the gun one that came down not long ago, the concealed carry in New York, where they're talking about what was meant when it happened. Yeah. And the historical value of it. We have always been this way. So from Schneider, distinction between native-born and naturalized citizens is connection with foreign residents are drawn in the Constitution itself. Only a native-born may become president. Hey, he said they only mention it and don't actually address it. That kind of looks like they addressed it. So I'm going to have to call you a liar, sir.
Just because you're quoting them.
Just because you're quoting it. How dare you?
How dare you put those scaremonger right-wing talking points in there?
I should be insecure. Anyway.
Yeah.
but that is not at all.
Oh, real quick, I should, just in case you're new, Richard, I don't think you are. I was being facetious there. Anyway.
All definitive. And when you get into court decisions, even though the 14th Amendment is crystal clear, lawyers get in there and they're like, well, did they mean born or naturalized, even though they said born or naturalized? And then they mean equal, even though they said equal. Well, what about this case where even though it says equal,
You can go back to the original, though. You can go back to the time of it. Oh, my God, what a fucking retard. The whole premise was just to give slaves rights, Jack.
I had a roommate in college that was a philosophy major, and he always thought he was the smartest person in the room.
They tend to.
Yeah, they do. I don't know. It's a chicken or egg kind of thing. But he one time asked me if he could have some of my dinner, and I was making a thing of hamburger helper. So I was like, sure, you can have some. So I gave him a fairly healthy portion on his plate, and then I put the rest on my plate because I'm a big fat guy.
Mhm.
And I sat down to eat, and he's sitting across from me, looks at his plate, looks at my plate, picks up my plate and says, that's not half, and immediately starts scraping some of my food onto his plate, and then gives my plate back. I never told him I would give him half.
Sure.
That was an assumption he made. That's sort of like reminds me of what I'm hearing from Cenk right here.
Yeah.
And if you're listening, fuck you.
Yeah, he's a fucking retard, man.
Yeah. I'm holding a 30-year-old grudge over that. I'm not going to lie.
I don't blame you, man. Somebody grabs my plate and takes some of it.
Yeah, I was pissed. I was so fucking pissed. He also had a list of like what parts of the fridge I could use, and if any food drifted over into his, he would claim it as his. It got annexed. Yeah, it was weird. It was a whole thing. I'll tell you some other time.
Well, Jack, we are 25 minutes into the video, but we are 2 hours and 37 minutes into the show. I'm going to wrap this one up here. I will do my best to remember. One, I'm just going to be honest with the audience. This is a much easier show to do. When we have a long video to just sit here and make fun of. But I do want to try to get like a game stream done tonight.
You would.
I have kids over and want to hang out with them when they wake up. So I want to go get my other show done as well.
So your grandkids are more important to you than we are. I see how it is.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed of that at all.
Oh, you monster! You shameless monster!
I love you guys, I really do. But any chance I get to hang out with the girls, I will take because they're adorable. I'm just saying. So ladies, oh, I do need to talk real quick about the stream on Twitch the other day. Something happened with it, and the stream disappeared.
What?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. All that showed up in my list, because I had some internet troubles, Jack. I got two of them that showed up that were a minute long. The full one, the long part we got to do, I don't know what happened to it. It's just gone. So I apologize for that for anybody who missed it and wanted to watch it afterwards. But hopefully that doesn't happen tonight. I went through, made sure all the settings were there so the VODs are saved. But thank you. Check my last two messages to you, Jack. Jack, Dangerous is telling you to check messages.
Oh, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for coming and hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for supporting us the way you do. For a little show like this, we have a very dedicated, very, very engaged audience, and I cannot tell you how great that feels. You guys are awesome. I love you. Thank you for the donations. It really does help keep us going. Jack, anything you want to shill?
Yeah, I'll drop some links to some recent videos. As always, thank you so much for the donos. You guys are awesome.
Bubba, you down to play tonight? I have some other games, Jack, that I want to be playing.
Okay.
I picked up the new Ark. I have the new City Skylines. The new Ark is having some issues, which we probably should have been able to tell because, well, quite honestly, the old arc had a lot of issues. If I'm just being honest here. So there we go. Our Halloween phasmophobia. The old arc was kind of janky. This one is a resource hog. And I really need to update my motherboard and my processor. I just can't afford to do it right now. I might have to do the arc one as a video series. And then I think I can, the Skylines one, I should be able to stream. I'm still working out how when I'm going to do individual streams, when I'm going to do solo streams, which one I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. But there is a lot of content I want to do and hope to do. But that's going to have to start after the girls are gone. They go home tomorrow. So hopefully I'll get started on that. You know, Jack, it's one of those things where it's like, well, why don't you just do it? Because I know me. I'm just going to be honest. But if I do it that way, the videos will go up on YouTube and not on Twitch. Twitch is just for streaming. Now, the Twitch streams, when they don't disappear, will be moved over to the YouTube channel, as I used to do. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. I'll be on Twitch. .com/ranting monkey here in just a little bit, playing some more Phasmophobia with my good friend Bubba Hotep. Guys, thanks so much for coming and hanging out. I love you. Take care of yourselves, Jack. A pleasure as always.
Always glad to be here.
Guys, we'll see you next time. Take care.
Bye, everybody.
I can't believe Chandler and Bull died. That's a fucking horrible song.
Mike Pence dropped out. Ha ha ha.
Mike Pence left the race because he's a piece of shit. If somebody took a dookie, I hope he gets hit with it. That's not good either.
That was better.
It rhymed.
Yeah, I like that one better.
The show is over. We're leaving now. Cenk Uyger wants to fuck a cow. Oh, I just can't do it tonight. Bye, guys. We'll see you next time.